you, and you thought we was going away. Nah, it's Speak Out.
But let me just reverse a bit and say good morning to the listeners of Vibes. Welcome to the program.
If I stay within my setting as a public officer, as the public relations officer, and I stay just within the office space and do not go out to the public, how will we understand what is happening on the ground?
Still delivering.
We've done a lot, not just in terms of the general infrastructure, but homes, support to farmers, support to fishermen, etc. And as time goes by, more support will be given to Carriacou and Petit Martinique.
It's Speak Out Unfiltered. Built back, even better to last.
Let us all strive to build a better country by putting aside our petty grievances and move forward with dignity, being proud of working hard and working together.
Anything that we're doing now, it's futuristic thinking. It's not for the now.
Education is the key in a country's development. That's it. If its people are not developed,
Even though go that far, no? Just remember knowledge is power. When you know, you know.
that's it.
It's Speak Out Unfiltered.
We're happy to have you.
On Vibes 101.3 and 106.3 FM every Thursday, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Do you feel the vibes? Going.
The views expressed on this program are those of the host and guests and not the views of this radio station.
And it's just about time for me to say good morning again to you right here on Speak Out Unfiltered for today, Thursday, the 8th day of May. Good morning to all listeners. Those of you in the trial and state of Petit Martinique, Carriacou, Grenada, good morning. St. Vincent and the Grenadines, our neighbors next door, good morning to you as well. Those of you who join us on Facebook, on YouTube, on the internet, and on your radios, wherever it's convenient for you to do so. Thank you so much once again for tuning in. To remind you, the program is interactive. You can always call us. And our telephone numbers to do so are 443-0101, 443-0101, and you can also call 403-0101. And we also have another number, the 458-1914, 458-1914. When we open up the lines, we'll be doing our discussion as always, and your input is always welcome. So without further delay, let me move and stay to my left this morning. Koi, good morning to you. What's up? Good morning.
Good morning to you, Kim, and to everybody listening at this time, no matter where you are. It's a beautiful day. I think that's how we begin and look forward to what's happening to come. It's a beautiful day. I can feel that. Yeah, you know.
I could feel a robust.
So something happened.
Yes, something happened.
Yes. But it's a beautiful
discussion.
Yes. And talk about the discussion, Kim. You know, one of the things that I always like to say, I mean, I don't think I'll ever get tired saying it, is that when we are discussing issues, you know, everybody would have their own different opinions, and it's basically okay to disagree. But I think the issue of respect for each other. I mean, you might not like what I say, but or you might not like me per se. But at least we have to show respect to people's ideas. And I would keep saying this, Kim, that we need to respect that. Yeah, we all would not agree on the same thing, never ever. So let us agree to disagree and disagree to agree.
But I quite agree with you on that day. So Leo, good morning. What's up, so Leo? Good morning.
Good morning, my Redeemer. I must tell you, I feel well. I hope you are feeling the same. Well, this morning I'm elated for several reasons, even though it feels as though I'm being displaced. But that's not a problem because I'm in the company of Super Flint.
Mhm.
So I believe I can flee. And to my right, here is Cousin Kinish, and I think I got a wind of one of the reasons why she's here.
Yes.
And I'm very, very excited because after all, she's here to tell us something about Dame Violet Washi.
I like that.
Yes, yes.
Oh, okay. All right. Super Flying Flynn, good morning. What's up, Super?
Good morning to you, Kim and Mr. Leo. Yes,
Good morning, sir.
definitely, and also Koi.
Yes.
Yes, and there is a beautiful lady, Keisha McFarlane, our very own. We all in here this morning to share some interested, conversation.
Yeah, that's all exactly what it is.
Yes.
And last but not least, let's move over and say good morning to you, Keisha McFarlane. Good morning. How are you this morning?
I'm great, Kim. I can't complain. I always say once you have life, there is hope. And I'm always a pleasure to be here on the radio station. So for me, I just want to say good morning to everybody who is listening. For those of you that is here, Mr. Leo, Mr. Coy, and Kim for having us this morning. Listen, I got up so early this morning, start to sweep the yard and say, listen, I need to shower. I have to go on Kim radio, you know?
Yeah.
So it's always a pleasure to be here this morning.
Well, I'm glad that you are here and you have some information you want to share with us, too. But as we sometimes would say, ladies first. So, Super, I'm going to ask you to just maybe chip in when we ask you to chip in, okay?
Definitely. Yeah, I come with her, so yes, I'm with her.
All right, okay. But Keisha McFarlane, you have been doing quite a lot in our community, and you are getting a lot of support in whatever you've been doing. So far, so good. But I think this morning, in particular, you are here for a purpose.
Yes.
And a purpose, as Solio mentioned earlier on, being excited about, because I remember him over and over speaking about what you're about to do or what his consensus is, So tell us a little bit about what you'll be doing.
Okay, Kim. So first, let me say, when I speak about this function and this individual, it gives me goosebumps because sometimes we bypass the simplest person and think that that person don't deserve certain things. But coming from Union Island back to my island, that where I belong and grow, I remember going to Mount Pleasant School and always seeing this woman walking. I never saw her take a bus yet. I never saw. Maybe other people did, but I never saw her take a bus. I never saw her anywhere else but in the road or by somebody's yard doing something. So I said to myself, these are people that we need to honor. These are people that we need to give something now and don't give it when there's a wake or a funeral. Why don't we start to appreciate people now while they are alive and give them what is due to them? I sometimes speak about a lot of people. I speak about Kim silently. I will speak about Leo. I will speak about other people silently on things that they have done because some of them don't want to be out there. They want to do, let me say, the background work. And I keep pondering, and I somebody like that. Once I want to do something, I pray about it, and then I decide, all right, Keisha, you're going to go for it. And I keep saying, all right, I want to do this for Miss Violet. I want to do this for Miss Violet. I'm trying to organize how to do this. And by that time, I didn't have a group as yet. Be mindful. There was no group organized. It was just me coming up with the ideas and telling people about the idea that I have, what I want to do for her. I wanted it to be so big that I just want her to be treated as a queen that she are. And I didn't want to wait for Mother's Day. I didn't want to wait for Women's Day. And I thought Women's Day would have been the ideal time to do it. But then when I think about it, I say, I don't want people to think I'm trying to overtake, because people always think this wrong thing about me, that Keisha is trying to take over certain things. No, I just wanted to lead. Once I get that opportunity to lead, and others shall follow then. Because I think sometimes it's not about the money. There are ways that you can organize an event without thinking about you need a $1,800 or $2,000 to get something done. People in Karaku, as Mr. Leo and yourself and others, are simple people you can go to, charge your idea, and once they think it's a great idea and something that would benefit everybody and benefit that person, it was like 1, 2, 3. I didn't have no problem. So I created myself and Nadira and some others, about 4 to 5 of us, created a group. And while sitting, we tried to involve the police, because they always say police community service is important. So we went there and we got some ideas. And Mr. Douglas, I think he's the inspector, he said, why don't you come up with this name? And he gave us the name. He said, Women for Change. So now the group is called Women for Change. And the idea is because we want people to know that women, we can lead, we can heal, and we also started to be in the food chain. We are going to stand up in the front line. So on Friday, please the Lord, it will be something semi-formal where we will be at Mermaid, and we are going to honor Miss Violet. It's a women's retreat. We're going to honor Miss Violet. We're going to give her gifts. We're going to give her plaques. We're going to show her love. She's going to get her hair do a full makeover. She's going to look different from how I always see her in the street, with her hair tie or jeans pants. I even took a picture with her yesterday on myself, because I said to her, I love you so much. I want you to know that we appreciate all what you've been doing and continue to do for the people for Karaku. Right? And I said to her, I don't want you to worry. I want you to know that everybody in Karaku got you, because even the simplest person I go to and I mention Miss Violet's name, I wasn't turned down for anything, even though it was a $10 or $5. It was given to me. And people say, Kisha, you talk a lot, but when you talk, you get through with certain things. And this is where Super came in. Right. And I just want to give a little scenario, Kim. So there was this, I saw these 3 persons walking across by the road. And I said to them, I said, good morning. I said, normally in Karaku, we know who is strangers, because our culture is when we pass, we say good morning or good evening. I said, because if you're having a function in Karaku and you don't speak to the people, we don't attend. I didn't know who I was speaking to, not knowing it was the people from the Season Paint that I was referring to. Right? And I saw Super that same day. They were having lunch or dinner, whatever. And he and I, as usual, interacting. And the people find that our personality was clicking together. So I went to the table, introduced myself, and I told them about the function, what we're going to have. And I said, well, even though it's a little bucket of paint self, let them give us the. And that led into something amazing, Kim. And so I will give you all about that. But that led into something very much amazing. But before I go and finish so you can speak to Super, I just want to say thank you to the first person that made this possible. He's sitting right on the side of me. I went to this, I went to this man. I made a little joke the morning, and then I continued the conversation, and I told him about the idea. And he had the similar idea, what he wanted to do for the same lady. And I said to him, well, we just wanted to ask permission to use your place. Look, I'm getting goosebumps. And he said, that's not a problem. It was nothing to say, you need to bring me a letter or you need to bring me something in writing. He said, that is, when coming to this lady, that is not a problem. You have the place. And I was like, look at that. It's just happening. And then I come to Mr. Mills, and here comes Mr. Mills, had no problem in organizing anything for Miss Violet. Every donor that we went to had no problem, Kim, in sponsoring anything when coming to Miss Violet. So on Friday at 6:30, at the mermaid, we are going to give her that stand up. We are going to give her that respect. We are going to show she that love as women as well as men. You could come along because this group is not about gender. But we are planning to honor someone from Carriacou and Pitimatic every year as God permits us life. So we are going to choose and we're going to look on and we're going to find out from people who they think is best that we can honor on that time. It might not be the same thing like Miss Violet, but we're going to do something for them. We're going to make sure that we honor them and give them what they deserve while they are alive. As the song say, give me my flowers while I'm alive and don't wait until I'm dead. And that's, I find we've been losing a lot lately, where we lose a lot of these things. Kim, I just want to say thank you to Kim's Plaza, Computer Classify, Women for Change, which is us. We also sponsoring LMM Beauty Salon, Paddy's Enterprise, Ministry of Carriacou and Pitimatic Affairs. I want to say thank you as well to Dee's Nail. These are the ladies that are going to beautify Miss Violet. Flavors Fusion, Joan Postle was the first lady who sponsored, even though she didn't know if this was going to execute or not. Dominic and Rashida, Marcia Kwashi, Miss Gloria, Sincere Connor, Mr. Clinton Brown, Mermaid, that Beach Hotel, Pooty for the songs, Season Paint, and the people from the immigration as well. And for also, we have last one, L&M Salon. So these are the people that are going to make this possible. And we want to say thank you in advance. We're going to come back again after the event. It's going to be great because that stand-up we're going to give this lady something that I'm going to record and keep it there. So then they can tell my grandchildren, my great-grandchildren to come because I intend to stay in Carriacou for a very long time and to be alive once God permit me.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Okay. So let me move over to you, Super Flint, because you were instrumental in speaking the seasons with the connection. How did this all come about? Tell me.
Yeah, well, the company Season Paint had to reshuffle the management. So they came to Carriacou to do a drive along. Also Pitimatic. So we went to Pitimatic, came back to Carriacou in every village, looking at the buildings. My job at the present moment, I'm a consultant for the factory, meaning I now can give estimate to people that can go to the bank and get whatever. Also ideas in what color you should paint your house, the rooms and so forth, discount on the product also, and the list go on. So after the meeting, while discussing, Season do have for at least 4 persons on the island of Carriacou. I had put it 1 is going to Pitimatic. 3 will be for Carriacou. We're talking about maintenance paint for the year. Right. How you get it? What is the criteria? In the community, that village, the person must be they must need it, definitely. Definitely, they must have a house. I will have to take a picture of the house to send to the factory so that could authorize, yes, that house need a painting. The personnel, I'm not saying that available or not affordable because everybody need now. So while doing like that, Keisha was there at where we was having a meeting and dinner. And when she mentioned it, Miss Violet was lucky enough, the first, to get her reward, so to speak. Mm-hmm. So she's the first one on the island will be getting free paint for the year. Meaning whenever she wanted she house paint, me and my team, we go and we paint it, So I went to look at it. It's going to be in what, Keisha? Morning Glory and white, blue. Yeah. And the paint is on its way tomorrow. Keisha and I will collect the paint. And there it started. So now for the other listeners who is listening, my number is 534-6622. Most people trying to find me, my number change. You can call me. come to the village, see what, and once that person reach the requirement, definitely. So that's the plus.
Also, what you're saying now, there's other people in Carriacou that would be awarded such a thing, like painting for the entire year, right?
For the entire year.
Okay.
Yes.
And so you have looked at a residence and you have decided already on the colors and everything like that.
Yes.
And so that's going to be done in the first instance.
That will be done on the first instance.
Yeah, well, that's very nice. You know, it's
and
nice.
We have to start it in June, and another painting will be November for Christmas.
Oh.
So that's already, she knows. So if she need a color change for the Christmas, we paint it in blue. If she need pink, if she need white, if she need whatever, green, she get a paint over again. And it go for the year. Right. Maybe February, she call, she needed to change. Yes. Whenever she need, that is what, the contract entails.
Okay.
Yes.
It's nice to know that. But as you mentioned earlier on, Ms. McFarlane, so Leo this is something you always speak about time and time on this program in particular. Always pause for the cause, as we sometimes say. So Leo, it's like a wish coming true for you.
Yeah. Well, when Keisha told me what she was planning to do, I said, it seems as though Keisha has been living in my head because there was nothing different. It's just, I was so passionate about that.
Mm-hmm.
But Mr. Superflint, let me please tell the management of Seasons Paint.
Yeah.
As a result of this gesture to my lady,
yes,
the first business from my end will be coming to them tomorrow. I have to purchase some paint from Seasons to celebrate that. So sometimes it's all part of marketing and advertising, and you hope to get business in return.
Mm-hmm.
So the first purchase is going to come from me tomorrow.
Lovely.
In high appreciation.
Yeah.
Good.
Because, yeah.
Good. Yes.
We work hand in hand.
We work hand in hand.
Yes. But as Leo, as you mentioned too, as you've been speaking from time to time, because when Ms. McFarlane came to me and I welcome it without finishing telling me what you wanted to do.
Yes.
And I said, this is something that you've been spearheading and you're speaking about it, because people should be recognized in our community. We sometimes look at the high end and we forget, the people at our levels, and even maybe Laura, if we were to construct levels, that deserve to be recognized.
You see, I always pride myself, even though some people may not think so. But when it comes to Carriacou and dedication to Carriacou, I put myself at the forefront. But where Violet is concerned, I'm happy to settle for second.
Mm-hmm.
Because, and I, up to this morning, it's 5 o'clock. You could set a clock by it,
Yeah.
Violet is in the road working and cleaning after walking from Point or Mount Pleasant, wherever she is.
Yeah.
And this thing is like it's clockwork. It never changes. And where in the world you'll find people with that kind of dedication, with that kind of honesty about what she does.
And besides that, she has a family. We sometimes you forget things like that, but she has a family. She has and a big family too, because she's a grandmother, and I think she has quite a few grandchildren. And she has a husband. She's been there, providing the necessary assistance in every sector wherever needed. Enough words couldn't express how dedicated and hardworking she is. And as a woman again, because sometimes we look at men and say, well, that's a man's job, and whatever. But she has taken up the role of man, woman, child, each and every person.
I'm part family to the extent that the greeting I get from this lady every day.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm wondering, when does Violet have a bad day? Because when you go, Vio, my love. Yes. That's the response you get. So you feel a part of the lady. So it's hard to take in. You must know Violet and experience Violet to understand the depth of this woman.
And another thing I want to mention too is the quality of her performance, her work that she's doing whenever she's working, wherever she is. She gives you 100+% to the best of her ability. You don't find that happening too much. And if you were to look at the other end of it and say sometimes, what reward do we get back in
Mhm.
return, monetary, stuff like that. It's nothing compared to the performance.
Mhm.
But
Really.
I think the idea too is to also show young people, right?
Yeah.
That you can do any job, honest job, and become something
Mhm.
and create something, because she have created a whole family and she's still standing strong with that family right there. And where they could have their own family and also taught them, because these days a lot of young people scared to walk in the road to cut some bush. They would hide if a vehicle is passing. At the end of the day, you're getting an honest day pay. I had my first job and it was cutting bush in the road. And that was the most fun time I ever had starting to work. And that was in the road. It's just to show people that you don't always have to be going to the bank or being dressing up with a suit or having on a high shoes that go click, click, click in the road to become somebody or to make something of yourself. Because I show with the work that Miss Vallis has been doing is what create that house that she built, and also help her family to grow and to go to school, or kids go to school so they could be able to have their own kids and send them to school as well too. I just have Miss Violet very high in my head that she, if I had money, Kim, I would have been sending her to maybe Silver Sands or Sandals to have a day pass, to just get that massage and that relax. Because Miss Violet always on the move. And every time she sees me, she asks me, how is mommy? Every single hour she sees me is how is mommy. And everybody you speak to about Miss Violet, it's the same thing, that would they get that warmness, that gentleness. And as Mr. Leo said, you don't know when
She have a
she's
bad day.
having a bad day. Because she's always, yesterday with the picture we took out, she's so smiling, and she had a broom, and I said, don't put your broom down. This is what you are. This is who you are. Hold your broom and hug me. And I had this chill when I'm hugging her. It's like, this is what I have to do for her, and I'm going to do it. Despite I didn't have any, I was going to do it at the end of the day. And I just want to thank the team that I have with me, Kim, because the minute time they hear Miss Violet too, they were on the go. Sleepless night. First thing this morning, after I asked one of the members, oh, they don't sleep. 5 o'clock, there was a message on the phone because they want to make sure everything is being put in place. They even asked me, can we find out where we can get one of the queen chairs so we could put Miss Violet on that chair instead of putting on the ordinary chair like everybody else?
You know, Miss Violet is answering the admonition of the great Martin Luther King, If you're going to be a street sweeper, be the best street sweeper that you can.
Yeah.
Anything that you do,
Be the best.
do it to the best of your ability.
Yeah.
And I think that Violet does answer his admonition in flying and high colors with high pass now.
Yeah, you're quite right about that.
Yeah.
This is something we could recognize. It, Yeah, she has performed there, to the best of her ability in every way. And that is one of the reasons that she's getting now. But let's mention her last name though. We only say Miss Violet, so let's give it the full.
Well, I know her as Miss Violet Charles. That's the name I know.
Kwashi.
And yesterday she told me she's Kwashi.
Kwashi.
So Miss Violet Charles Kwashi, right? So I have to get it right. I have to get it right because I need to make sure that I include, because I always know she has Miss Violet Charles. And then she said to me yesterday, I'm also Kwashi.
Right.
And I said, okay, Miss Violet Charles Kwashi. I just want you to know that on Friday, please the Lord, will be your day. I want you to know that we are going to honor you. We are going to make sure that some people were asking, why are you doing Miss Violet? Why is only one person? Miss Violet to me is like 10.
Yeah, she's a representation. Yeah.
She represents a lot of us women in society.
You know what I would always say, as for Miss Violet, first, second, third, and she could argue for fourth. That is how good you want to
Yes.
She right there.
Yes.
It is. And I know for quite a while because she's been my neighbor in Mount Pleasant. We live just about 100 years apart, And I've been watching her ever since, watching what she has been doing. And it amazes me, from time to time that she keeps on, and every day on a regular basis, no matter what time of day it is, you know. I've seen them walking many times the streets almost the middle of night on her way to home after performing a job wherever she was, you know, and she's steadfastly moving forward. So, you know, and people like that need to be recognized.
I could speak to that.
Yeah.
One night in Moses, was saying no, but I had to stop. Come, let me take you home. I had to change my route. Because I going to where she's going, walking up this time of night.
Yeah.
No.
But it's nice when we have people in our community who are dedicated to things like that.
She deserves flowers, she deserves the whole garden.
You're sure right.
Yes.
You're sure right.
yes.
So the event is going to be on Friday, right?
On Friday, that's tomorrow, please Lord, at 6:30. I want all ladies as well as the men, if you just come on down, semi-formal, right? We're gonna, as you enter, we're gonna pin you, the ladies, and as soon as Miss Violet enter, we want everybody to stand up. We have a packed program. We have people are gonna give speech. We have those who are gonna give a poem, little song, and then we have the music of DJ Putty gonna give us something where we can interact together and get ideas and find out what we can do to enhance more of these activities on the island of Carriacou and PT Martinique. By extension.
But as you mentioned, when you came up with the idea and whoever you approached, you know, was there 100% without even, you know.
100%. There was no question asked. Once I said, Miss Violet, even the youngest person, the lady outside that you have working to, we just told her about it. And she was like, yes, that lady's so nice. She deserves it. Every person that we spoke to about Miss Violet and concerning what we are about to do, they were like, yes, she deserves it.
Right.
Oh God, I wish I could do more for Miss Violet.
Okay.
So this alone tells you a lot, Kim, about this woman.
All right. Well, I'm glad that you went to do extreme to explain to us.
Yeah.
And we appreciate that as well too. And I would just hold you to that what you've been saying is that you're going to make a video or something of the nature in the archives and put it on Facebook too.
Yes, I invited the media. I didn't leave them out.
Yeah.
I invited everybody to make sure that they be there, and I keep texting and calling.
Right.
Please be there. I know that there is another activity on the same day, but that is not going to hinder what we are about to do for Miss Violet.
It's something entirely different.
Right? That is something entirely different. So a lot of people was questioning if there are going to be people that came. There are going to be people there. Every activity, and I explained that to somebody because sometimes you have to break it down. So where I might be going to Juve and wind up, Kim would not go to Juve. He will go to a nice function and sit down and listen to something or look at something. So everybody have a different crowd, right? So what we're looking for tomorrow, please, we're looking for that crowd that will come and share some insight with Miss Violet. Show she that love. Let her know that people here appreciate the things that she do, because when she, as Mr. Leo said, when she clean that street, it's cleaner than some of us clean our yard. It's clean, like it's so clean. You wonder, Miss Violet, just thinking about, this is my house, let me clean it. And every time I speak about it, it give me goosebumps. And when God, they always say, when God tells you to do something, you do it. And this is what I'm going to do for Miss Violet, my group and I, and everybody from Carriacou and PT Martinique, Grenada by extension, especially that Season Paint. We appreciate it. And we are going to continue to do work for the people of Carriacou and PT Martinique.
All right. Well, thank you so much for that explanation.
And Kim,
yes, she also mentioned, hold on, you know, before thinking that there was going to be a second activity tomorrow too. You were going to say something. Go ahead.
Oh yes, all right. All right, yeah.
Yeah, there was
that second activity she's talking about is history in the making for the people of Carriacou. Everyone is invited to that fish center in Windward. It's not the Windward Fish Market. It's called the Northern Fish Center. That's the name of the building. And it's not only for the people of the north, it's for the whole of Carriacou. So the people of Leicester, the fishermen, Harveyville, they now can bring the fish up to Windward where it can be sold, meaning that the fish market now, it's upgraded. It's of standard and class. You're not bound to hustle to sell your fish You catch your fish, you want it to go one time. You can store your fish now at the fish market. The fish will remain fresh because there is proper storage. There is an ice machine that, my God, it can feed the whole of Carriacou with ice. It's bigger, it's better, it's quicker, especially for the tuna men and them. Now can get the ice instead of going to Quav and those places. And the ramp, so there will be a ramp. Most people was asking where the speedboats and them can come, and the project haven't finished yet because there will be a jetty for the fishermen and them. Not only the jetty for Piedmont, because everybody know about that jetty in Piedmont, but there is another jetty. So we will be getting 2 jetty, definitely. But tomorrow, and the time is 3 o'clock. So Keisha, you said it's starting 6:30.
Yes.
At Windward, the ceremonial part is 3. About 5 o'clock, ceremonial part done. Yes, we have liquor music by Bayside Boys, but that will not stop the people from coming to the function, Miss Violet, and also because tomorrow is Friday. So Carriacou, Friday, there is a place to go. Mummy Tavern, Windward. Back and forth, let us enjoy what we have. Treasure what we have.
I know for sure. I know Mr. Leo is going to definitely be by Ms. Violet first. So I'm sure about Mr. Leo, right? So before he goes up to the fish market, or
yes.
even though he don't have to forfeit the fish market, I know he's going to be by
Yeah,
Ms. Violet.
I will give it to them. Mr. Leo will be up by the fish market by 2, 3.
Yeah.
Dashing his vehicle down to his place. And and vice versa with me. So, we can predict that.
That's going to be an earlier event, huh?
Yes.
But excuse me, but I've been watching the fish market, and looking at the job that was done in painting. And I was going to ask you the question now. Were you one who did most of that painting?
Wow, Kim, remember the fish market had started before Beryl came. Yes, that fish market supposed was to finish and deliver and everything. We had Beryl, just name it, the Dover School had broken down. And I want all of you to listen to this part. When the fish market was about to start, some of the people of Carriacou said that this is waste money, waste of time, what this project doing in Windward. That was some of but the contractor also with the minister and the PS, the whole team who designed, came up when we come to the roofing. I don't know if Mr. Leo had a part in that. The roof of the first fishery was galvanized and rafters. Maintenance was highly. So they came with casting the roof, making it like how they doing the Build Back Better house. It would have cost a little more money, but it would have lasted longer. By doing so, they took the initiative to build it like that. And you know what? I had just finished from the doors to the toilets to everything properly painted. And that was the building that rescued the people of Windward came. And Dover, there was 40-something people inside of there. That building became like Noah and the Ark. You understand? And mind you, there was like cooking inside of there. Well, living condition.
Yes, you're right, yeah.
And when we look at the building, we know that he had to paint all over, estimate. But you know what, Kim? And I'm giving myself a lot of credit and season paint. I was able to pull the power wash and blast the building, taking up back all the grease and everything. And what I saw is that the paint had stood up. It's not much work. And I was able to tell them that I'm going to paint it over for the same, no extra charge, because it's just a paint over. And not only that building, the one close to Mr. Leo, the yellow, green, and at one time when I was doing it, they call it all kind of different name.
Resource Center.
The Resource Center,
Yeah.
that stood up, Grand Lake stood up. What again I paint? The tourism building in pink. When I was painted in pink, people said at the madhouse. I get a lot of bash while working. People were just saying, but now look at it. Police station is painted a nice gray. The post office is blue. and that is pink, orange on the side. Kim, you see how tongue looking now? You understand? So, you know,
It's nice, yeah.
so I don't mind if people do talk, but now they are benefiting.
Yeah.
They see the initiative. So people just speak for a little while, Mr. Leo,
Yeah.
and when they see reality, because now the place is about to open, and who is benefit all of us.
But I could tell you, I mean, from looking from the outside, the paint job is excellent. I must commend, you know, you in performing such a job, you know, because it makes one feel that it's something of value. You could see it in front of you, and you could appreciate it as well too.
Just like what Mr. Leo said, when you're doing a job,
do it.
You do it good. I remember coming here reporting that my ladders and them was stolen, and you remember Leo and what, you know, all upset. You know, it was nice for a company was able to sponsor me back. So Kim, I just like to say thanks for this radio station, because if you not speak out, people will not know. So when I spoke, someone, as I left, that same moment, they called and told me, "You're a young man. Don't worry. We're going to give you back your ladder. Send a quotation, what you need." So, you know, I had my scaffold and ladders and everything back.
Yeah.
Just want to tell the people at them thanks. And also, you know, they say that I went missing for at least 8 months after burial. I want to be truthful. After burial, I could have stayed on the island, Mr. Leo, because why? Most of the houses that I paint got damaged, and I took pride in my work. The houses I then keep like my children also. I felt sorry for the people. I felt sorry, so I said, let the dust settle. After 6 months, 8 months, the place is going to be start rebuilding. I will come back on the island, do what I do best. So I went back to the paint factory, educate myself on products, and now I'm back here with season giving back to the island. So I wasn't hiding. I was educating myself. So when I come back on the island,
You can perform better.
I can perform
Better.
even better. And I can say that most of my students is now boss. I'm feeling good, you know. Most of them who have been vexed with me for firing them, vexed with me, they're not doing the work. Now, when I pass, they still call me boss. Some tell me thanks, some give me a drink, which I appreciate. They've been gratitude, but I say that to say that you don't have to go to school, or what skills is very important, as Keisha said, for the young people especially, because there is a lot of still young men and young people just, I will not say idling, not doing, they don't want to work. Kim, you know, we are talking thing, but there are opportunities out there. There are work now in Carriacou. So, you know, I myself now need cleaners, because we are cleaning the fish market now. I'm looking for a window cleaner, and Keisha McFarlane was able to get one, thanks again for me. So there are jobs, you know, there are work. So, and beside the fishery, the two clinics, Leicester Clinic and Windward Clinic, will be also open, cutting the ribbon, you know. So tomorrow, it's big in Carriacou.
Okay.
Well, if I may throw in a little bit here, Keisha, for Mrs. Violet's affair,
yes,
I want you to please make sure that your DJ Putty has in his collection a song by the famous Johnny King. It's called Appreciation. And talking about appreciation, we must at this time extend that type of an appreciation to our government for what's been done in Windward. It has been long needed, and it's now up to fruition. So thank you for those who made it possible.
Appreciation. Very good. Yeah.
Thank you.
By Johnny King. Yeah. Anyway, Kim.
Yeah,
yes.
okay.
Yes.
Well, I asked you guys, you know, just to come in just for a little while this morning, you know, and I sort of took a little bit more time.
Well, we appreciate it. It's all about thanks, Kim. Yeah.
It's always important. But in any case, you know, looking forward to that big occasion tomorrow. And I think it's going to be a big one that's been appreciated as well too, the public, besides, you know, Miss Violet Charles Quashie, and continue the good work. You know, you took a lot on your own with your group, you know, to come up with the idea and to do such a thing like that. I know it's going to be a big success, you know. So I'm not wishing success on that at all.
Thank you.
That's well done, you know. But it's important too. And Super Flint, you've been part of it as well too, you know. And I want to applaud you for the work you've been doing around in our community, and keep up the good work. We'll call you boss. We'll keep calling you boss.
Kim, it's you. Well, you know, we following you on Mr. Leo footstep. You always the elders. We are the another generation, and I still have my kids. So it's passing on the baton, you know. It's passing on the baton. Right. So we got to do what we have to do.
Right, but definitely, you know. So, and whenever you want to share some information with us again, to Ms. McFarlane or Super Flint, you know, feel free to get in touch with me.
All right,
because
thanks
we
again.
appreciate all you do. Okay,
nice.
Yes.
Okay, enjoy the day.
So just want to say thanks, Kim. Thanks to Leo, Mr. Leo, and Kim, as Super say, passing on the baton. And it's because of men like you guys where we see you lead. So once you lead, then we are going to follow. And when you're gone, we're definitely going to continue the journey. So don't think it's just going to go down like that. And that's what it says. It's important to pass on information.
Okay.
It's important. So we just want to say thank you. And once again for having us. We're definitely going to record this and you're going to have it. You're going to have a video that you can watch all the time, especially Mr. Leo.
Yes,
all right,
yes,
thanks again, guys.
Okay,
All right.
bye-bye. Okay, thank you.
Yes.
We still like dogs without a bone if we have the money alone. Because appreciation plays on the human mind. Everyone needs some for happiness all the time. Because importance, if we are trying to live, everyone's on the hunt. Every man ought to give generously.
As we continue right here on Vibes FM, Speak Out Unfiltered for today, all right? Where we just got our guests just left us, you know, and it was wonderful having them in the studio with us. So, Leo, how are you doing? Back to you.
Appreciation. Never enough.
Never enough, you know.
Yeah.
And it's nice when people take on that responsibility and try to do something, you know, where
Yes.
people could appreciate you as well.
Because, you know, we were very good at condemning and not commending.
Right, yeah.
So when, in rare occasions when this happens, we have to say hail to the king.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Koi, you're still here.
Yeah, I'm still here. I ain't going away.
Yeah. Okay. All right. We continue with our normal discussion of Speak Out Unfiltered. Okay. And we got quite a number of topics I want to touch on, you know, this morning. But there is one. There's one I was discussing just a couple of days ago, and it's on my mind. So we could bring this into the fore, get some opinions out there as to what really transpired. Now, back in 1989, if you guys remember that we had a situation there where the NNP government, under the rule of the late Albert Blaze, right?
Okay.
In a convention, right?
Mm-hmm.
That the leader now, which is Dr. Kit Mitchell of the NNP, right? You know, he took over the party in the convention, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, the discussion that was going on is that when that transpired, the late H.A. Blaze was still the prime minister.
Mm-hmm.
He was the prime minister at the time because he had formed the government. Now, after that, the party took over in the convention, and he lost leadership of the party. He still remained as the prime minister of the country. Now, what I was trying to find out is that was that legal? Was that in our constitution to have someone in government with a minority? Because if you remember now, the majority will be 8 out of 15. And the number of seats that he had after that took place in the convention, he didn't have that support anymore, but he still remained as prime minister. So the thing is now, were we run under at that time at a minority government?
Yes, we had a minority government, but the constitution, using that word constitution, has nothing to do with any political party. The political organizations are not recognized in the constitution. So what happened at the party level, whether they put who for this and who for that, whatever, that is at that level. But the constitution, the governor general in months before did on his, was it his or her? I think it was his deliberate judgment, and based on knowing what had happened, appointed Mr. Blaze as the prime minister.
But that was before.
So I'm saying, so what happened? The party thing came afterward. Yeah. What happened then was that was based on the governor general. Of course, at the time, Mr. Blaze had the majority. But
when he was prime
from
minister.
a party standpoint, yes. From a party standpoint.
But what gives you the permission or the authority to rule?
The governor general. The governor general.
But you have to go to the governor general with a majority.
Well, you had it then. You had it when he was appointed. The prime minister. So the point is, let's not confuse ourselves. What happened in party? Stay in party.
Prime minister and party leader, two different things.
Yeah.
Two different things.
Yes. That's what I'm saying.
And party leader. So the party leader doesn't change the price of rice. You could always have it. It is not. I don't think it's mandatory that a party leader is the prime minister. I don't think so.
Because so Leo, what if more people who have won the seat approach the governor general and say, listen, we'll show our support behind this person. That person doesn't have to be the leader of that party. But I'm just saying the process. So it's not because you're no longer the leader of your party. But of course he was clever enough to
he formed a new party.
To maintain a party. Yes.
While he's in there.
Yes.
But that party was not elected by the electorates.
No.
No, he didn't form a new party.
Well, yes, he did.
TNP.
I asked Citizen Rolo to join me in this conversation just before you and I.
Yeah. Well, I welcome him then.
I wish you would call, to join the conversation. Citizen Rolo, if you are listening, which I hope you are, I just want to get it. Okay, and you are. I wish you would just join in to join the discussion at this time. Okay.
Yeah,
you know the numbers again. You to call us, so you can do so. But while we're waiting for him to join us on this discussion, there, it's been something that's been talked about for quite a while. Was he at the time, or would he have to call an election to run out the period of which he was, sown to rule as prime minister?
No. Well, indeed, I don't profess that much knowledge of government or what have you. But in that instance, I would think that the party changing leadership doesn't necessarily change the government structure, the administration, the
constitution,
or the constitution of the parliament. I don't think so.
Yeah.
So I mean, people who have better knowledge, or who, like they say, a little more learned in this regard, I'll listen for some clearance on that point.
Vibes FM, caller, come in, caller, you on. Caller, hello.
Mr. Mills.
Yes, hello, yes.
Greetings. You are breaking the Sabbath. I switch off for the year.
Well, you have to switch back on.
Switch off until the Satan season finish.
Okay, all right.
I don't normally make noises on radio. But listen, I'm subject to correction on a couple of things because during those years, 87, 88, 89, and 90, I was between here and Venezuela. And I remember that in 88, I was in Caracou and so on. So what year did Mr. Blaze die? 89?
89, yes.
Oh, correct. All right. And he also died in office, didn't he?
That's correct.
Huh?
Yes.
That's right. Well, there we go. Because I work with a firm, they're building some roads in Petit Martinique and then Caracou. And the company built the tomb and concreted it. And during the funeral, we had equipment there lifting in the casket. Listen, what I recall is that probably a year or so, sometime during that tenure of Mr. Blaze, we elected prime minister in 84 for 5 years.
Right.
Right? And during the time, this other individual saw a nice opportunity because Mr. Blaze was frail and otherwise and so on. He started to chant him down, as we used to say back then. So in all the workplaces and all, especially government offices, this individual was, but he was the minister for works. That certain individual. No name, no warrant. We know what talking about.
Okay.
He was a minister, but he used to be, why he wanted to displace Mr. Blaze very well. So he organized within the, and this is, Mr. Coy just mentioned it, the difference between party and the state apparatus. So he mobilizes people and so on with a bid within the party with a bid to displace Mr. Blaze from the leadership of the party, and he was successful, if I remember well. But that didn't end the government. Mr. Blaze was mandated for 5 years and he served, he worked, continued to work through. But during this time, he also made created an organization jointly with his other key man, what was the name from St. Andrew?
Ben Jones.
Ben Jones. Yeah.
Mr. Jones, Ben Jones and some others and so on. And he created he separated from the new National Party, was the name given to that new organization after the invasion on the Commerce. I think they formulated that thing, someone wanted the Grenadine Islands, or one of them.
Union.
Right, yeah, Union.
And Blaze established this TNP, which is simply the National Party. That's what I recall. He came from the Grenada National Party and they formed the new National Party. And then when that thing split came about within the party, Blaze mobilized and so, and he died in office. And Ben Jones continued
He was
with the
deputy.
TNP. Of course, it didn't last very long after that and so on.
Right, yeah.
But this is what I recall of it. Now, he didn't lose his prime ministership. I cannot tell right now, subject correction, whether or not the law permits it otherwise, but he did not lose. He maintained Mr. Blaze in office. I mean, rest in peace. That's all I put away. I wasn't there then. And after that, I left. Came down here, packed up my bag and baggage, and I went back to Venezuela. So I lost track of things because there was, So this is what I know about the issue. Whether it was, and I doubt that it was illegitimate, because had it been, some lawyer would, may have challenged it. What do you reckon, Mr. Coy?
Yeah, certainly.
Some lawyer may have, because there were still some powerful lawyers about during those times.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, as a matter of fact, I think what's his name again? The Attorney General.
The director you're talking about.
No. I'm talking about Francis Alexis. Francis Alexis would have pounced on that because he's one of our regions.
And it was June, and it was after that and so on, and some of them split here and went there and they formed their own thing, and then the thing made a big commerce and so on. But I said, I disappeared from Grenada henceforth for a period of years and so on. So that's what I recall. The illegitimacy or not of Mr. Blaze's tenure was not challenged.
Then why did he have to form a new party? What was the purpose of
it? Because the party split. He was removed as leader of the NNP. But he had his position in the government. Remember, there's a separation between party and a government establishment and the state apparatus. The man was legitimately employed because he won his party, the NNP won the election, and he was chosen. You know how it is. If you have this, you get the
support.
You call that the support of the majority, you become prime minister. That was not challenged. So this is what I recall.
So in other words, it wasn't necessary for him to form a new party to continue prime ministership.
Well, I do not know if it wasn't really necessary, but he chose not to associate with those other individuals who had just hijacked the party. I reckon that is how he felt. I don't want to be. And note the name that he gave it, the National Party.
TNP.
He didn't go very far from the new National Party. Because he had his way with the National Party. He just wanted to be simply the National Party. So it's a distinguished because the gentleman worked hard to, quote unquote, undermine him. May he rest in peace, Mr. Blaze. This is what I can say here.
Okay. But I also think that it was necessary to have an organization to
govern.
to govern. I mean, because Ben Jones was they had a convention, you know. Ben Jones was deputy.
So after-
Maguire and so on, all these guys. So I'm saying they had to put the house in order, as it were, to govern. So
Listen to this. After Mr. Blaze died, didn't Mr. Ben Jones take over the prime
Yes,
minister?
yes, he was
There
deputy.
we go.
Yeah.
There we go. Until they lost the next election, and the what you call the other one came in. That's where the NDC came in, isn't it?
Yes, Nicholas Buffett.
Yeah.
In-
But Mr. Blaze,
yeah.
his the splitting of the NNP did not affect Mr. Blaze's tenure as the legitimate prime minister of the country. This is what I recall.
Okay.
So the government now was being run. I'm talking about Parliament now. In Parliament now, it was a split of the different parties. That was
Split of a party, of the principal
Party,
party.
yes.
But it did not split the
Representing
government.
MPs.
So we had representation from the different constituencies.
Yeah.
But it was not illegitimate because it was not challenged.
Yeah.
So the Blaze died in office, buried him and so on. And Mr. Jones took over the leadership of the party until the term ended, if I recall well.
Yes, you are right. I remember going into the elections and Ben Jones, was the leader of the TNP.
Yeah.
That's correct.
Right, yes.
Was the organization.
All right, well, I'll cut off here.
Okay, all right. Okay, thank you so much. Thank you so much for that explanation there. Okay, because that would just sort of, put things, right. Because we were discussing and no one really, was sure on what really happened. And I was saying that if it was something illegal, then the elite Egypt should not have been able to govern.
No, well,
it would have been challenged.
Yeah, according to Mr. Rolo, there are too many people out there with knowledge of what's happening to not challenge an illegal situation in Greater for that long. I don't believe that. So that's why, to me, there was some legitimacy about it that it was never challenged. Some people would think that, it is what it is. So there's no challenge there for them. That separation does explain it all.
Right.
What's government and what's party.
Right, okay. So that takes care of that day.
That takes care of that.
Okay. Well, that sort of put, my thing to rest. Let me take a phone call there quickly. Vibes FM, caller you on. Caller, come in. Caller?
Yes, gentlemen, good morning.
Yes, good morning, yes.
Good morning.
Gentlemen,
good morning.
Yeah.
Thank you for taking my call. I am so happy with the news about Africa, in particular, Burkina Faso, and its young, youthful leader that I have to call this morning. Africa is on the move, and God is with this young man. Many of the other leaders are now on board with him. And the young people in many of the other parts of Africa, Ghana, Nigeria, and so on, are demonstrating in support of Abraham Traore. Gentlemen, we will have to pray and support this young man. Because as I speak, those racists in America, Europe, and even some of his own people are plotting to murder him, as they did to Patrice Lumumba. And I think Brother Kim and Mr. Leo will remember Patrice Lumumba, but Coy, I think you're too young.
No, I do know, Colin.
You do?
Yeah, I do know.
All right, good. So, we don't want this to happen to Abraham Traore. If those leaders had supported Lumumba, by now we would have had a developed and progressive United States of Africa. Our people then, instead of going to America, Europe, and Canada to better the situation, we would have been traveling to Africa. Today, we would not have to be insulted by this racist Donald Trump. Europe and America is plundering Africa for its wealth to develop the country. The African people, and we support it, need the same wealth to develop Africa. These white racists in America and Europe, they are too damn pompous and arrogant. They want to tell us what is good for us. It is time to get rid of those leaders with the slave, colonial, and plantation mentality and replace them with young, revolutionary thinking leaders like Abraham Traore. It is time to get rid of those leaders who are colluding with the racists in Europe and America, who are raping and plundering the country. Donald Trump called Africa shithole country. I don't know if some of you remember. Donald Trump friends call him an imbecile and a moron. Lawrence O'Donnell of MSNBC said he, Donald Trump, is the stupidest and dumbest to ever rule America. Gentlemen, I will stop here for now, but I have a lot to say. And if time permit me to come back and say a few more.
Okay.
Yes, thank you very much for listening to me.
Okay, thank you so much. And remind our listeners again, the telephone numbers to call if you want to interact with us. 443-0101, 443-0101, 403-0101, and 458-1914. And for those of you on Facebook and also on YouTube, you'll notice that the numbers are scrolling right on the bottom of the screen there. So you can just take the numbers down and call to interact with us. Someone just made a comment here. Let me see. It says, it's the first time in the history of Grenada that the leader of a party was not the prime minister. So, which means at the time when Keith, Dr. Keith, took over the party, and he had the majority, and that was the party that was elected in government to form the government. So he became the leader of the party now, but not the prime minister. You see the technicality in that there?
But I think I'm seeing some comments if you follow what's happening on the chat that one of the things that Blaise did after that was he prorogued Parliament. So there was no issue, no challenge, from others and from Keith himself. He prorogued Parliament, and to get things organized, he brought in the TNP, so he could get things going, not depending on the NNP, because he doesn't have control over the NNP again.
So that was a big move.
Yes, and also note you said the first time that there was no the leader of a party was not
the prime minister.
The prime minister. It was the first time also that a government minister was fired. Now, don't forget, as the last caller said, or somebody said, that he was the Minister of Communication and Works. Now, soon after that, he was fired. He was fired by H.A. Blaise. He was no longer in government. So in other words, Blaise is saying, hold on to your party, hold on to the leadership, but you will not be part of this government. I mean, there are other things happening.
Let me take a call. Advise FM. Landline caller.
Hello, good morning.
Yes, good morning. Yes.
How are you guys doing?
All right, okay.
All right, like Coy said, political parties have nothing to do with Parliament as such. The Governor General appoints the Prime Minister and then also the leader of the opposition. I think it's under Section 98 of the Constitution. I was looking for my Constitution and I can't find it. Anyway, and the Prime Minister is the person that has the majority of MPs. They would write to the Governor General, and then she will invite the Prime Minister and appoint him. The same goes true for the opposition leader. In the opposition section, the person who seems to command the majority, they would advise the Governor General, and she would appoint he or she. That's how it is done. So it doesn't have anything to do with the leader of the party being automatically the Prime Minister of the country. Section 98 or thereabouts. You could check that and you'll see how it's done. Okay?
Okay, so what I'm caller. Okay, thank you so much for that. So now what we're seeing now is that, as you just mentioned, Koi, the proroguing of Parliament, sort of
no business can
right. So
can go
we can't make no challenges. We not
in Parliament. In Parliament. Yeah. And to political Parliament, you have at least up to 6 months. 6 months.
Right.
And that thing, I think the meeting took place late in 89.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
Yes, and
this that in
89
in
December.
December.
Yeah. And the election was on
March
13th.
Yeah.
Imagine that. Ben Jones called the election March 13th. I mean, I guess with all this history thing and so on. But however, yes. So that is how the system. So Blaise didn't do anything wrong. I know that's what you get your own get. Blaise didn't do anything wrong. Yes, he was wise enough.
Yeah,
wise enough to navigate himself through that period.
Yeah, but that was a challenge.
It was
a big challenge. Yeah,
I mean,
that yeah.
As when somebody chasing you and you run to the shirt and they let go the shirt.
Yeah.
They haven't to kid,
Take on the shirt.
That's
yes.
Oh my God!
So I mean that I think it's very, very funny. Yeah? So that's what happened. Okay, because we had numerous discussions on that, and we're just trying to find out what really happened. Because unless you discuss it, and get people ideas and see what transpired, you wouldn't know what. Because I was thinking all along it was some government that was, a minority.
I really didn't know the nitty-gritties, but I just imagined that it was legit. So I left it at that.
You left it like that. No, but we want to find out exactly whether it was legit or not. So we could know exactly, know what really happened. And the discussion now that we have this morning now really enlightened me now as to what transpired. Everything was fine. Vibes FM caller, come in. Caller?
Good morning.
Yeah, morning, yes.
Good morning.
Kim, I have a suggestion. It's nothing new. As Leo would say, it's a loud secret. As a follow-up to Violet recognition, how about Mission Men's?
Yeah.
Because she is well deserved as well to be honored before time comes to go to sleep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My good friend, what I think is happening here, a lot of the younger ones, Keisha, for example, would know very little of Judith Menz's contribution. And you see that in their time, they lived and observed Violet. And quite rightly, Violet is deserving every honor she gets. But if you listen to me carefully, you always hear me say that in the past, Mrs. Menz was the social conscience of Carriacou. And she would be at least honored by something in honor. And I'd very much like to have the Hillsborough Community Center or community complex dedicated to that. And at this point in time, it's appropriate, but of course, she's well up in years, as you will imagine, and she is sort of in Brooklyn, and it may not be. We could only do it without her being here, but at least something should be given to her.
Oh, she's in Brooklyn.
Yes,
she's been there for a couple of years. Yeah.
Well, but if she's still aware of what's going on, she still could appreciate it. Just that
is true. That is true. And to I don't have the what do you call the gavel on that on that issue. Yeah. But I would very much be in favor of it, knowing as somebody who's been around for a few full moons, the contribution that this lady has made to Carriacon, Carriacons. Yes.
Yes, she has put. She has given the country a lot.
Yes. Of course.
Just by her knowledge.
Yes.
And recommend and advice. So
yes.
just want to bring it up. I know it's nothing new, because you always spoke about her, but I want to just refresh your memory that she's a good candidate for such recognition.
Because I'm telling you, there's so many people. Actually, another thing that I thought I would have been, because as long as I could remember, anytime you start at the bottom of First Avenue, First Avenue and Church Street, let's take that as the beginning, and you look towards Hillsborough, all I see is Mr. Noel the strap, so that street, I was hoping that somehow, the name Irene would have been mentioned. We have just First Avenue where we live at that, but Mr. Noel, Mr. Ari Noel.
Mr. Ari Noel Street.
Mr. Ari Noel.
Ari Noel Way.
Yeah, we sometimes we'll try to only get local government to, if we will try to advocate for those type of things. Yeah, we will.
Okay, caller. All right, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, just want to just bring it up. Thank you. Have a good day.
Yes, thank you.
But two things quickly as you just spoke about the renewal. I know that there would be the renaming of the streets.
Okay.
And it's been considered that he would get a renewal lane in the area where he resided. You know where his house was, right?
In back of school,
right? Yes.
Back in the school.
In the back of the school.
Yes.
That whole road going up there.
In the back street.
In the back street, would be that's been talked about anyway. Okay. So let's see what transpired. Bye, FM. Next caller. Come in. You.
Hi, Mr. Mills.
Yes.
Your indulgences for a curious question. I heard you mention a name there a while ago, Judith
Menz. Yes.
You know that woman. I just want to verify. Did she live on way to the botanical gardens, the left-hand side before Dollarman House going across there?
Not that high. It's right.
Not as far, but going in that direction.
Yes, it's right on the
short,
corner.
dark lady.
Yes,
correct. Marvelous woman. This woman was, back then with knowing her.
Yeah.
Yes, because there's certain. No, I won't talk the secret on that. She reminded me of something. No, I can say it. Listen,
Yeah.
I don't know. You remember a fella that called Okaboka?
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
He was alleged that he was my brother and that his father, a fella called George Grant, but that was scratch a match. The one of back days and quickly. And so I was walking up there one time. I was living in Dollarman's house there. And so I was walking from the center just come to get some dual shopping and stuff. And this woman just stepped out and sir, young man. And she came and she said, listen, are you a Grant? I said, no, ma'am. But my surname is not Grant. But I went on to tell her the story that it was said in certain, them communities and villages and them, everybody know everybody business.
Yeah. Jacket.
And she said to me, I see him in you. What? Because apparently Scratch and Matt used to work in Carriacou in them days with St. Francis and whatnot, and he knew him. But she became so friendly to me that she used to give me fruits. I don't. Whatever, and so she just liked me.
Yeah.
For the couple of times I spent a year plus or something up there.
Yeah.
Very nice woman she was.
Yes,
God bless her if she's still alive. And
she's still alive.
Oh, yes.
She's there.
Yeah.
It's been a lot of years now.
Yes.
I think 107 or 80.
What are you talking about? Completely.
Then when I knew her,
completely 108, soon to be 109.
Well, look at that year, because back then we talking about 30 years now.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, look, she was fairly old, but she said, look, I see him in you. They say I look at George Grant and shoot, but my mother never told me so. Just a curiosity. Take care of yourself, gentlemen.
All right,
good. Yeah, that is her.
All right. Let me go to the next call. Line 9 call. What's up, caller coming?
Good morning.
Yes, hello, yes. Caller?
Hello, are you hearing me?
Yes, yeah.
You going and coming?
Yes.
Pleasant good morning.
Good morning.
Okay, all I have to say is yellow is the code. And that is the slogan for 2027. Yellow is the code. Have a nice day.
Thank you. Bye. You're welcome.
I tell you, election is in the air already.
I think it landed already.
Uh-huh.
It's not in the air again.
Uh-huh.
You see what the just caller said? Last caller said that
Yeah.
Things are beginning to happen, and it won't happen just one time. Things are beginning to happen. The momentum is building. So now I'm saying it's not just in the air; it's already almost touching ground.
Okay.
Gentlemen, listen to this. Could it happen in the future that Emmeline Pierre is the leader of the NNP and Keith becomes Prime Minister?
It's possible because the process is that the one who commands who commands more support. So if all the others say yes, he as someone who won his seat, and each of us say yes, we want him to be. He command our respect. He could be. So I'm just saying, it's not necessarily the
leader,
because the leader. Yeah. The person who commands the most respect.
But you must be elected.
Yes. You can't just say, well.
Vibes FM, line 9 caller coming.
Hello?
Yes, hello, Jan.
I came to visit the.
Ready?
Yes, okay.
Leo?
Yes, sir.
I don't think Mrs. Mens could get the whole complex name after her. If that happens, people like Mario, who later on deserve to be honored in Carriacou, later on, no, you just started thing. But then it wouldn't be no space because the tennis court will be under the same complex, you see?
Okay, point taken,
Yeah.
because I do agree that Mario's made a gigantic effort, to introduce and this will have tennis going in Carriacou, and if there is what we were talking about is that there could be a Mario Bliss tennis court in the Judgments Complex.
Oh, okay. I see what you mean. Okay.
Yes. But yes, he's certainly deserving of any recognition he could get for his effort to the tennis in Carriacou. Yeah.
What he's been doing here.
Yes.
Because I mean, tennis is my sport from way since back in the days with Atta Ash, and guys. So I really appreciate what he's doing.
Yeah.
But
Yes, man.
Yeah, what you're saying is in the future.
Yes, even if I'm not a big tennis person, but that doesn't prevent me from seeing the effort and the contribution that this guy is making to the sport. And I think it's it's commendable, man, and especially in these days and the temperature of the sun. Yeah, certainly well deserving.
And by the way, I have to say, when we're talking about Jim Wife on the road and what she doing for Carriacou, uploading for Hillsborough, I always recommend her with a little malt, because I appreciate it so much, Leo, man. Because at the moment, Carriacou has been a garbage can for a long time, I'm Hillsborough. Maybe I lived for a long, long time. And when she do a cleaning, she does expose Hillsborough. Yeah, because of course, the street is skin as whistling and then building look like, hey, let me not say nothing.
Yeah. It all goes, I tell you, I can't commend this lady more. And it just go to show with a little effort and a passion for what you do and how you do it, the standard you could rise to, and Violet definitely demonstrates that. So I'm in awe every time I look at this lady. Every morning, religiously, without fail, you could set your clock. You could
set your clock. Yeah,
you could launch a rocket by Violet, man. Yeah. She's good.
One night I slipped by my partner, Theodore McCloy Granby.
Yes.
And I heard it back in Crookston Day, about 4 o'clock in the morning.
just before I get to 16th corner, I see a drone bee. It's a she, going out to work. Unbelievable.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, very good. Excellent.
Yeah, dedicated people, eh?
Example of a kayak.
Yeah.
Yes.
By the way, tomorrow is 6 years since Theodore passed away.
Who?
Theodore.
Wow.
McLeod, yeah. I went in Granby to put some jack iron on the grave yesterday.
Okay.
Wow, boy.
Time flies, huh?
Yeah, man.
Yeah, time flies. Yeah, it does fly, my bro. Does fly.
Would you believe?
So we have to make the best out of it now, eh?
Would you believe my wife was just telling me that yesterday she had to go to something for the late Janice Andrew. I said, oh yeah?
Mm-hmm. Wait, not. Yes.
5 years, eh?
5 years already?
Sit down there.
COVID.
Yes,
oh, yes.
19.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Oh, boy.
Okay, fellas.
Oh, okay.
Thank
you so much.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Right. Let me try to take another call. So many calls coming through. Let me see if I could just get to this one first. Vibes FM, caller coming. What's up, caller?
Hi.
Yeah,
Hello.
Yeah, hello. Yes.
Yes. Good morning, Uncle Leo. How are you going?
We're going good, yes. And every time you talk, we get better.
Better. Well, I beg in for a little 1 minute more than my time.
Go ahead, take
no
it, man.
vex with me.
Oh,
Listen, I want to congratulate the two hosts you had on the program this morning.
Yes,
with this lady.
Yes.
I want them to take a bow, and I want this lady to take a bow.
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Leo, you know how you live. What's going to be your destiny?
Mm-hmm.
If that lady was so bad in the community, I didn't even think somebody would remember her. But I like the attitude of these two people. Continue, big up to Kayak.
Yes.
And listen, I want to congratulate Mr. Raymond Matthew. Mr. You work for your country. You pay your dues. And I like to tell you, to spend 30-something years in one place, you have to be a hero.
Mm-hmm.
And you fight hard. I hope God bless you and help you. And we will always remember your contribution you make for this piece of rock. Thank you, Mr. Raymond. You had done it.
Mm-hmm.
I want to say to the fisher folks, I just want to say, Uncle Leo, you know, if a plane listen point selling, they know how much, you know how much passengers, that leave point selling because they have record.
Mm-hmm.
And I would like the fisher folks to handle a business like how the plane do it. You know, you have fisher folks just jumping in a boat and got no record. I wish they could have a place where you could record.
Mm-hmm.
Everything is on computer today. Even though our own boat live in the show, they just click and make the headquarters know where I live in that time. And look, me and who three of us on the boat, and we gone. So in case you go out there, your engine shut down on you just a click, and the headquarters know something wrong with this person. So let me send help.
Mm-hmm.
I remember a guy tell me they go and pick up Lambi. He and the next guy, one in the boat and he go down. He said, Miss Glenda, I like to tell you, when I reach down there nice. So he start picking up anymore. He forget the time I want. So when the guy there, you don't see him, the guy leave now going out. Just imagine you live in the ocean to go to get help. When you come back, what you going to see? So what happened now? If they had this thing in base, they just call them and let them know, well, this boat in problem. So they would have made that boat go with this guy outside in the ocean before he reach in.
Mm-hmm.
But that guy say, when he come up and he looking for the guy, he didn't see him. So the guy go. He say he sleep in the water Friday night, Saturday night, Sunday morning. I think boat was passing and they rescue the guy and they bring him in the hospital here. When I go and look at. So fisher folks must able to run the business in a different form.
Right.
I have something else to speak, but I don't want nobody mad with me. I'll call back.
Okay, right, man. They can be mad with you. No.
Okay.
Right.
All right. Thank you.
So true, and when you see, I always recall my good cousin boy, my good near and dear cousin, that's Adolphus, like Kokoti.
Yeah, Kokoti, yeah.
You know, those men, they were Chris drifted for 29 days before he was found, you know.
Mm-hmm.
29
days, yeah.
Yeah. And Chris,
I remember.
Yeah.
Well, when they were leaving St. Martin, I was there. I saw them.
Yeah.
I spoke to them just before they left.
Wow.
And I didn't speak to Chris 29 days later.
Wow.
Just imagine that. It's a story. That's a story. Vibes FM, caller come in.
Morning.
Yeah. Yes. Okay. Yeah.
How is everybody? Good?
Okay.
Good.
I have a problem. It's not the first time, not the second time, not the third time seeing that. But on the port where the Karakou boat come in. That boat coming sometime like 7:45 in the morning. And you know, the gate just be closed, the people just be inside there, if they're in jail. The police come and open the house 8:15. I see that happen about 3-4 times. 8:15 come and open it yesterday morning, the people they behind there, they can't come out.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yes. That
I heard of that happening. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, okay, thank you. That's a bad. Way we have here is that we don't know time.
We don't only know time, but they would know time if they was doing it for somebody foreign. But we always fall a little bit short. It's with people, so it could happen that way.
Yeah.
It could happen that way because of the respect that is given to somebody strange and foreign. Even good men Carriacou. You know why? Because, they know you and that's how it is.
Yeah.
With respect is due, give it to man.
Yeah, and you're supposed to be at your job, at a position at a particular time. I mean, look at that. 15 minutes late, half an hour late.
You know how much that could do for somebody in time, especially if you go on for a day and you have few things to do.
Yeah.
Could be of thing to you.
That should be addressed.
But I don't see why it can be addressed, because talking about employment, talking about you're going to work, and you're supposed to begin working at 8, not get there for 8. So you have to be there all 7:45, 10:10 accordingly to begin at 8. And if you are aware, the activities on the port, at least the boat from Kayako, which is in about 7:38 or 7:45. What do you expect? Wait until you get there? I think from the standpoint of the port authorities, they have to ensure that the services that they offer, that they provide, meets the standard. You can't have people from Kayako or wherever or PM have to stop and wait until you come and open the gate.
It's in your favor.
Yeah.
Even though they employee that you pay.
Yeah, precisely. So I think it has to be addressed. It has to be addressed at that level. The management has to ensure. Management has to ensure that is access and that is available for people who using the port.
See, you always hear me saying that youngsters in particular, the ultimate respect is due to your government officials, elected or selected. I am advocating that, well, in addition to having respect for yourself and other people, ultimate respect should be given to those people. But you should know your rights enough to demand
you can just
respect in return.
Yeah.
But you see, these guys, especially from the old administration, they make themselves a little bit above the fray. So you to question anything that they do, even though they're in your employ.
Yeah.
So and last time I was saying to somebody, hey, you living here for that long and you having somebody just come and violate your space and that. But what go do the man, the prime minister's friend? What the hell does that have to do with the price of rice? The only prime minister's friend shouldn't make you take away my right. And they wouldn't say anything because and in some certain instances, even the poorest of the poor that can be deprived by the administration because there's nothing they could do, no. Nothing they could do to them.
That's the kind of attitude we have. I mean, so what if you're the Prime Minister friends?
Yes.
So how does that come in
Yes.
in relationship here?
The Prime Minister doesn't have to obey the law. Do what he wants.
The point.
Mhm.
Let me take a call. The Vibes FM, I think Basketman is on there. Hello? Hello, caller? Caller?
Hello.
Yes, yeah, you're on now.
Yeah, morning, Saki. How you doing, sir?
All right.
Basketman here.
Yeah, I realize that, yeah.
Long time I give you a call. I said you got to call this morning because campaign is on.
Yes.
Election campaign is on.
It's starting.
When the lady said that, I thought you didn't realize what's going on. Big campaign in St. David up the house to house.
Yeah.
I just passed them almost every Sunday. Yeah. And
Yeah,
then Peter David started his too. So we have to start keep on going ahead now.
Mm-hmm.
Money. Yes. So.
Yes. Hello. Yeah, go ahead. Yes.
Yeah. So we have to start campaigning now too. So I must say this though, but I have Culture Man. What Culture Man said here on his side, because I'm from the Northeast, St. Andrews. I live in St. Andrews, but I'm from the Northeast. And nothing much is going on in the Northeast. Things are going on down the road, but on the top, in the countryside, nothing going on up there. My daughter lives up there, and she doesn't even know the minister. And when Portman said that he asked for the title, and they take his name and they just forget it. It's true that's going on in up there because, for example, my house was 20-something feet long. After Ivan, it come 12 because they didn't give me a supply. They didn't give me a bag of food. And after this storm now, my house is 8x8. I had to break free. It almost fall in the storm near Beryl. So I had to put it down, throw it down, and 8x8 because I never receive anything from an NP government. Nothing at all. In Granada, say my house fly. And the people are just giving this thing, they say, I'm not from here. So I pick up on the side of the road and build the house. And when I walk, I could have buy some fry and put back on the house and the government. The whole thing out on the house. And up there, I believe in my opinion, some of the ministers not on the ground, boots is not on the ground. Especially in the Northeast. You're supposed to, and most of the people working with this MP and is NNP, you know. I'm saying that without a doubt, you know. Most of them is NNP. So they're looking for the people. And Kim Jones telling them that every time on the radio, look for your people. And we not, the daughter is up there. She's not seeing nobody coming and look for her. And she house is not finished yet. She has something to put it up and she's in it. We bar it up with something. And my little thing is on the side. You know, so she just there. And I must say this about Emmeline Pierre. Emmeline Pierre will never be nothing other than what people can make her be. The leader of the opposition. Nothing. And here, there's some surrogates on GBN radio. When Kamala win the election here, I see them listening. And as them can write back, it's finished with the news, they start what could be the alternative of as Kamala win the election, what could be the alternative with Grenada? So they have an idea that Emmeline Pierre could never be nothing in Grenada beside leader of the opposition because she sit down behind, keep herself back all the time. The bubble was going on, and I say, in my opinion, all these people should be drawn before the court for embezzlement, squandermania. You understand? Because all the guarantee loan, all of them was right there, that they been included. And none of them never say nothing. So how possibly Gradian could trust these people? Mr. Coy, good afternoon. Mr. Joseph, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Yes, man.
One love, Mr. Kim, one love.
Okay.
I will hear you.
Let's talk to that. Let's campaign on it. We're coming very regular.
All right.
Yes,
okay.
man. Yes.
All right, okay. Let me take another caller quickly before I make any comments. Landline, WhatsApp caller, rather. WhatsApp caller you on? Caller, come in.
Hey, good morning, Tim. Good morning to you and good morning, Milton.
Good morning.
Blessed day to you all. Listen to the program and enlightening as usual. One of the things that I'm kind of concerned about though is the sarcasm the algae, which is actually an algae that has been coming down Caribbean as far as Miami, Florida areas. And I've noticed a lot of people commenting about the government not doing anything about it. But what is happening now is bigger than the NDC administration or any government at the point in time. The amount of sargassum algae that is coming, it's a lot. And it goes back to one thing: global warming, climate change. The ecosystem, that everything has been disturbed. How long is this going to happen for? No one knows, because it's boiling point. Yes, the sargassum is evil, that odor, which is a lot of nitrate is coming from it, which is going to be bad for people to smell and other activities. But at the same time, there is beneficial enhancements and attributes to it if it's collected and it's studied and implemented in the right way. So now people have to be careful with a lot of things that they do. When you go to the beach, if you're living close to the sea, you will smell it. But please, I'm begging as people from within the Caribbean systematic, this has nothing to do with the NDC administration or the government presently in control. This is bigger than them. It's a problem, and it's a problem that's going to be there for how many times? Another point is we're getting close to the hurricane season. How are we starting to prepare for that? Climate has been changing. The seawater is getting warmer. Hurricane feeds from warmth. How are we preparing? So we're going back and forth doing all this blaming, this, saying that. But what are we doing to get ourselves prepared? This is just what I want to leave with each and every one of us. We have to start looking at this thing called climate change and global warming most seriously, personally and individually, organizational, community-wise, and everything. It's a big threat to our existence. And the Caribbean island feels it because everything starts from like under Africa, the Atlantic, and it comes down. And it moves and it goes all the way to the United States of America. So let us start looking at the threat that is to us now. Some of the things that is happening is minor compared to what we face. So I just wanted to share that with you on a point of someone who is into science and studying this thing. Okay?
Okay.
So have a good one, guys, and
Okay.
all the best.
All right, thank you so much, there. As this caller just mentioned about sargassum, I think this year is worse than in years gone by,
Well,
from what I've been seeing.
It varies, but I think there's a couple of years ago it was, boy, it did really possess us here.
The first year, it made a big impact.
Mhm.
But I think this year, it has quieted down a little bit over the last couple of years. But this year seemed to be a repeat maybe of the first year,
Because I'm floored by this whole thing. Where's this thing coming from?
The Sargasso Sea, all the way up by Africa out there, There's a sea, the Sargasso Sea. And then imagine, I saw some photos of some aerial shots, of the mass of that the pilots are seeing moving across the Atlantic. Just imagine that. And it's coming all the way to the Caribbean. And you will see it in the photos, this area, a massive area of like a shadow in the blue water.
Boy.
And it's the current that's bringing it across too.
Yeah.
And that made me believe too that what transpired with Christopher Columbus, those stories I've been hearing, it was that same current that pushed them into the Caribbean. Let me think about Vibes FM. I want to go to Vibes FM. Caller, come in.
Hi, yeah, good morning to you. Good morning to you. Bakirman, good morning, my big up yourself. Yeah, Mr. Kim, good morning.
Yeah.
Yeah, my issue this morning with this $10,000 what the MPN is getting the $10,000. And Miss Kate Lewis, she's not doing nothing in my area with this $10,000. Not even my bridge, not even my drain, not even my culvert. And yesterday morning, an NMP friend, she called me and she said, "Goldman, why are you talking about the $10,000? She said at home his kid don't supposed to use that $10,000 because she's covering them for she MP because she's on the side. So she said that the 10,000 not to put in roads or to build roads. She said that $10,000 is for her to pay she mortgage, she water bill, she light bill, to pay she office rent and other things. So I say, well, then she getting she monthly salary. What you doing with it? No, die hard. But when they was in office, that same Miss Kate Louis, the MP, what she sit in St. Andrews notice wherever. When Dr. Kid Mitchell used to give them the 10,000, how she used to put up 50 feet of concrete or 100 feet of concrete with the 10,000? Because, you know what I mean? Why she don't build something in the community? Because the people in the community, they complaining, they talk about what she doing. Because here one yesterday, she thought no, hotel is now, she's smart or whatever. So trying to get words from my mouth, but my friend are smarter than that. So yeah, what is any case? She said to me because she's a NNP, she must be what and what. You know what I mean? With people and things like spend it and give them XYZ. So I say away of that. So my NNP friend, don't what you don't smart. You don't smart. Keep your smartness always for yourself. And
yeah, but caller, let me ask you. Ask you to hold a second there, please. You mentioned about the $10,000 that they get in the constituency allowance now, right? But under the NNP, that was not. They were not getting that, you know.
No.
This was introduced by this present administration.
Correct.
They were not giving that.
No, they wasn't giving that within in NNP. No.
Because okay, well, I'm listening to you. Okay, because no, it wasn't right because I know that where I was living, Upper St. John's in By Road, I know that it have one or two of them. She give contract to do a 50 feet or 100 feet of concrete road.
Yeah, but it's not from that. No, they had the monies allocated to the constituencies for different projects.
Whatever, okay.
Yeah.
Thanks for the correction.
Yeah.
I was saying something again. No matter that you live way heavily on the outside of my community, which is Carrier or Bel Air. If a government house building in the community and you get a job on the outside and you come in Carrier or wherever and build the house, share it. Do not bring people from your community being used as NDC and supporter and use a builder for the house. Share it. Give somebody something in the community too. You cannot take everybody on the outside and come in the community and build with the toilet and bathroom and houses. That's all looking to go after because when the NMP was in power, the bullshit was coming close to the election. The NMP took people all in Dunford, all in Paul, all in Conference, and bring up in career to work, you know. So nobody in the community get a blade of bush to cut in my community. So I'm seeing the same thing going on. But then I'll change it. Don't take everybody on the outside.
Okay.
Give somebody something in the community too.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Twice it.
Okay.
You have a good morning.
All right. Thank you so much.
And thank you for the correction.
Okay, no problem at all. Let me take another call there. What's up, caller? You've been there? Caller, come in. Caller, thank you. Caller?
Hey, morning.
Yeah, go ahead, yes. Yeah.
Something.
Yeah, we're having a little bit of an issue there. Caller, hold a second. Caller, yes, go ahead.
Yeah, we have two members of Winward Pride on the phone.
Okay, very well.
Right.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Yeah. First of all, we're touched by the gesture towards Mrs. Kwashi. I too know the individual and just due. It's really due. And for that we Winward Pride want to pledge $100 in groceries from Kim's Plaza. You know, for her.
So maybe off the air we could discuss how
Yeah, no problem.
how you could facilitate that.
Yeah, okay.
Very good.
Yeah, that's
Very,
nice.
very good.
Yeah, yeah.
Thanks, yeah.
Mr. Leo.
How are you, sir?
Good man. How things?
Fine.
Leo, good morning.
How are you, buddy?
Good man.
You know, you were on my mind all of last week and this week, and I went to Bekwe, and well, let me just know if because there's a lot to talk about in that about that issue, and it was a brilliant success, and I know we can probably take a page out of those guys' book, and I wish we could form a sort of a coalition with them to see what you younger ones could do with Karaoke Regatta.
Yeah, well, let's start the conversation.
Well, of course. I must tell you that I decided this year because, of course, I don't think you have the time, the opportunity to do what is necessary for the sloops to be ready for this year. And even if the sloops are ready for this year, we need to have more than just the sloops as far as regatta is concerned. So
exactly.
There has been a resurgence in Bekwe, made possible by guys who call themselves the legends of the festival, the Bekwe festival. And it has been a serious success. If Florida must send you guys, I'll send you guys some pictures from the regatta, because
Yes, you should. Leo, you in touch with those guys?
Which guys? The Bekwe guys?
They're in Bekwe, yeah.
I just came back from regatta in Bekwe with the Ace Plus and Skylar.
Okay, yeah. Well, why I ask you that? I think we should definitely have a conversation with them and bring them in for the upcoming. I know it can be this year, maybe next year.
That's not true.
Regatta, definitely.
That's not true. As a matter of fact, that's not true. They're coming here this year.
They're coming this year?
Yes, in full force.
Wow. Well, we know even here nothing yet.
Well, if you give me time, I'll inform you what's in the pipeline. Okay. It's a tragedy to see regatta not happening in Karaoke. But but people who are interested in Karaoke regatta and the sailing aspect in Karaoke must sit down and have a plan and make sense of what we want to do or what we want to accomplish. The legends this year promised me that they'll be coming to Karaoke this year, because there's no other thing happening in Karaoke this year, but I've decided and I've asked them to join me in a memorial event for Colin, because as far as I know, you guys not excluded, but in recent times, Colin has spent quite a bit of money as a youngster towards Karaoke Regatta. And I'd like to see a tribute to him in that regard. So we'll be having a memorial challenge for Colin. And the guys from Bekwe, they're more excited about the idea than me. Same guys coming from Tobago for the same reason. So it'll be a good opportunity to have some sort of a session with them as it pertains to the resurgence of Karaoke Regatta, because it's happening in Bekwe big time. So there's an opportunity, but we'll talk some more about that, and I was hoping, but these guys sort of take the lead from me to make that announcement on the program today, that indeed I have already spoken to the member of parliament and the PS.
Leo,
yes, sir.
Can I ask you a question?
Please.
All right. You said there was a resurgence in regatta in Bekwe.
Yes.
Did you ask why or how was they able to bring about that resurgence? Was it a one season thing, or was it something that has been brewing from the past year, from last year to now?
No, it's been going in recent times. But you see, you have to credit. You have one good person named Andre. The guy lives in, like you guys, he lives in Delaware,
Delaware, yeah.
but he's very, 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 very dedicated, and he's been hung in the St. Vincent government to play a bigger role in the Beckway Regatta. Because I don't understand for the life of me why St. Vincent government isn't putting more effort into the Beckway Regatta, because the spill-off from Beckway Regatta is nothing other than incredible. I mean, the whole island is consumed. There are so many people in the island at that point in time for that festival that I think it behooves the St. Vincent government to put some effort into the sailing. But no, this guy was able. I would tell you that. This year we had 7 long open boats. 7.
Right.
And hopefully we'll have the same amount in Carriacou. And but you see, if we don't know what we're doing and we don't know what we want about our regatta, it is never going to happen, because I was saying for the longest while. Carol, go ahead.
Let me make a point, right? Because I feel that sometimes we conflating the culture with the festival, right? To me, the culture should be is the actual building of the boats. How we pass on that tradition of actually building a boat. You know how to be you don't have to be a sailboat. It could be any boat, right? And that should be something year round, right? A festival, the Carriacou Regatta festival is an event for a particular period of time, right? Which is basically the icing on the cake, where we showcase the tradition and the culture. In a festival, we showcase the tradition and the culture, right?
Yes.
So our strategy going forward, if we're serious about building Carriacou Regatta, should be a 1 year process, or a year-long process, right? Where we involve the kids, teach them the history so they could appreciate.
Correct.
And then start teaching them techniques, building, and so not all of the builders, like sailors, And then at the end of the year, we present a festival. Yeah, that should be the way forward for us.
I have no qualms with that idea, but you see, we must have a mission. We must know again.
Right.
Carriacouans of seafaring people we are. Not everybody go to the sea, but simply because we have so much more sea than land, we always have to turn to the sea for some reason or another. Now, that Carriacou Regatta, what it does for us, it helps us to sustain the culture of boat building, etc., etc. Because from that comes a good economic boost.
Tangible benefits.
Exactly so. So we should be guided in that direction, and hopefully, if we could do it, and it'll take all hands on deck to do that, not just as we think we depend on the government. Baloney.
True. I share that same sentiment.
Yes.
But I would say, okay, if you equate it to a cake, to me the culture is the cake, and the festival is the icing on the cake. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So it's the same cake, but one might be sweeter than one, but one part might be sweeter than one part.
Yes, you see the fact that you put the icing on the cake, it adds to the flavor of the cake.
Exactly.
People enjoy.
They go hand in hand.
All right, people enjoy the cake better. But if you see, in Carriacou, after this year is our 60th anniversary of Carriacou Regatta, as we know it, Paul Linton rig. But regattas might have been taking place in Carriacou more than 120 years ago. More than 120 years ago. But regatta, as we know it, as Paul Linton rig, this year is our 60th anniversary, and we literally have nothing to show for it. That is because we're doing the same wrong foolishness and expect different results. If we're going to have a good regatta or something that's going to benefit Carriacou, we need a regatta committee, not a JUPA committee. You have people who are most vocal. And the fact of the matter is, those people are like that, their mensal and their jib is just to say their mouth, because they have nothing to show as per regatta. No boat, no nothing pertaining to the sea and so on and so forth. So we have to do things and plan it in the right way and put things in the right direction if we need to get ahead. Otherwise, we'll never get ahead. That's as simple as it is. So I hope you younger guys who are still around and still have some interest will take a different course and do the right things. For example, things that will benefit the kids, the schools, and so on and so forth, if you want to keep the culture alive. Otherwise, it's going to die, as we see, an ignominious death.
Yeah.
So we have to do it.
Caller. Mm-hmm. Caller still there?
What, we lost them?
No. Hold on.
Mm-hmm.
No, they're still there. Caller? We're not getting any response, but they're still online though.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. We seem to be having a
Hello?
little bit. Yes, go ahead.
Hello?
Yes, go ahead, yeah.
Somebody mute something.
Yeah, Mr. Leo. With all that being said, we can't wait until 3 months before the festival to start.
No.
Planning and
no, but
it's a year wrong. It's a year wrong something.
Let me tell you what. In Easter weekend, there was a sailing in Bequia.
Yeah.
And there are 2 more races after that. Those guys just get up, let's go on race. And to keep the interest sparked. But again, we must have the right mindset and the right people to do those things. Otherwise, we wouldn't get it done. We have to grow that aspect of it. Otherwise, we'll always be doomed.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think finance is a big part because we have guys that could build boat. We have young guys that could build boat. We have 2, 3. I could come from Winwood. Young guys like in the early 40s, 30s that could build boat, right?
Mm-hmm.
But building a boat nowadays costs. So one of the things that we have to address is the cost. How can we get help in terms of building a boat? Sometimes it might be 100% help, but if a business could help sponsor this, the government chip in,
Yeah, but
everybody chip in.
You know what is going to finance the building of a boat? The passion.
Passion? No.
Listen to me now.
It's a calculation. No, at this point in time, it's a calculation.
Listen to me. Listen to me. I understand. Yeah. Regatta and anything pertaining to the sea is extremely expensive. And I would say if you're going to be a regatta, or if you're going to own a boat or enjoy that culture, you must have either your money or your belly.
Exactly. So when Mr. Kim make the statement that both men or something about money, it's to me it's kind of insensitive because from the fact that you have a boat underwater like we not pride costs us close to $100,000. Money shouldn't even be an issue. We do it for the love because it's not an investment. It's actually a liability.
Well, it's not Mr. Kim must realize that you guys.
No, not you.
No,
guys.
Hello. Listen is what I'm saying. And nobody could tell me, Leo Joseph, that I take part in a regatta for the money. And I wouldn't complain about the money whether or not I get it. But if I have listen to me, once I love a boat enough and have my belly, I build my boat. You guys do as though you depend on the government. We don't depend on government.
No.
Well, who are we complaining to?
That is where we had the disagreement.
Yes. Tell me who we're complaining to.
No, it's not a complaint. It's not a complaint. You made a statement that we want to address. All right. Now, $5,000 for a boatman at the end of the season, make a difference. That is just for us to give us the sailor something. They're able to buy something to drink. We buy something to drink, right? And we don't go out of the season less off, poorer. Right? That's it. We just want to break even. Just help us break even. We cannot leave a festival. We cannot leave a festival. We cannot move from out of a festival being poorer as a boatman. Right? When every other element, every person in the festival make money. The vendors make money, whoever make money, DJ man make money, stage man make money. You understand? That is fundamentally wrong. Right? All we asking for is to break even, not to make money, not about money. We just break even. We don't want to be poor every year. Just to break even. Make a soccer city, make somebody drink a malt. That's it.
My friend.
The money spending in car. It's not about the money, it's about the principle.
My friend.
Yeah.
listen to me carefully. What I am saying, you see all that you're suggesting? If we, as lovers of the art, we don't have to depend on nobody, and we could do enough to get 3 times the money you're talking about. But we sit back and waiting for somebody to give you something. That is not going to happen.
No, we're not waiting for.
Well, here you're talking about first price. Listen to me.
Underwater means that money coming into the pocket is not.
Yes, I know that. Nobody knows it better than me. I do it every year. But what I'm saying to you, if you love it enough, you'll have the fortitude to build a boat and sail a boat and make 3 times the money you get in.
We don't have it. We're not. You say everything of the water, like boating is a rich man's game. We don't have it like that. So what's wrong with us breaking even?
Who gonna make it?
All the festivals, all the festivals have a subvention. They get money. So why not help us break even? Help us not to be worse off.
Who?
That's all. It's not about the amount of money. It's just about help us break even. That's it.
But,
that is how that's it.
Let me chip in here for just 1 second. When the regatta started, the whole idea was a walk-boat regatta, you know. So if it's a walk-boat regatta, then the sailing aspect of it for money should not be a factor.
Not at all.
No.
Yeah, but hold on. In this present day scheme, that can happen.
That's not where it's at.
Those boats back then was income.
Yeah.
No, them boats just pack up there for the whole year.
Right. So the whole thing changed now. It changed now. Huh? So you expect now the price to finance the boat to run for the regatta and pack it up for the next year, for the whole year again, and then come back again and go back to in dock and everything like that. You can't do that.
Yes, you can. What do you mean you can't do that, Kim?
Kim, the system now is that the government provide a subvention, right? If there wasn't any subvention, it's fine, right? There's a subvention for festival. Every festival get money. Every other festival has gotten an increase, right? What happened to regatta, the most expensive out of the festival? What happened? Why the boatmen have to be worse off?
Listen, who's speaking, Richard?
Right?
Richard?
We don't want a million. We just
no.
Who's
leading the drive? That's you, Richard. Who's speaking?
Huh?
Yes. Who's speaking now?
Yeah.
Well, Richard, what I'm trying to say, you see what you're talking about there? I'm on your corner, but we could do it for ourselves. But we don't have to include nobody else. We're doing it for ourselves because we like it, and we could make more than 3 times the money we get from government.
Hold on. What do you mean by do it for ourselves?
In other words, all right. You know there was once a Linton Rig Foundation.
Right.
Right? So if in truth you are very intelligent person, and you have people around that's equally as intelligent as you, we could do other things than depending on the government and the little pittance you're getting and causing so much. Let me finish. Let me finish now. And causing so much confusion. We could do it ourselves. We could do our own fundraising. We could write for grants all about the place. We live in the busiest sailing lane in the Caribbean. Between Antigua and Grenada, you know how many people, let me finish now. How many people that are interested in regatta and seafaring activities? We could solicit money from everybody else, and we could have money not only to sail our boats, we'll have money to build institutions and do a lot of things. But what we don't have the ability to do for ourselves, we're waiting for government, and government can't time with us. Government and the passion, you know.
I totally agree with you. Okay. I totally agree, and that should be the model going forward. Right?
Precisely.
But there are some myths out there that boatmen are greedy and only looking for money, right? Which is what I wanted to address, right? Now going forward, which we among the boatmen we had that plan, but Beryl kind of threw us off on the side. We had that what you spoke of. We had already spoke about it in Windward among ourselves. All right? Going forward, that should be the way. The one which you described. That should be the way. Right? But how the system is presently.
What system?
Right? If that this subvention and government, right? How it is presently, right? If you have a subvention, we would like to break even. Right? And that's all that was taking place in the past. Just help us break even in the past. Going forward could be a different discussion.
Listen.
But what happened in the past was us trying to break even. That
Listen. I'm telling you, I ain't talking about breaking even. You know, I want we could do for ourselves and be profitable. We're not breaking even. We'll have money to spare. We could even give the government a change when regatta finish, if we have the ability to do things for ourselves. But we don't. We're looking at the. You know how many people poking at Leo Joseph? Leo Joseph has been in this crap for more than 50 years, and is what I have not done to try to sustain regatta. And instead of somebody trying to see and have a vision of what it's going to take to keep regatta, you become a target. You become a target. Now this year, and I've been trying to tell you guys that for the longest while, regatta for Carriacou, for it to be the big thing that we want to have, and for the Carriacou community to make money from regatta, we must include the region. We must include the region. And here is Taku telling me that, Leo, well, the soup is the most exciting, so forget the open boats. But Baker money is foreign exchange, you know. Tobago money is foreign exchange. Union money is foreign exchange. And they will all come and support you if you have a good thing going. But instead of you study how to plan a regatta and how to capitalize on the festival, we're looking for government. You will lose. You're getting nothing.
Oh boy. Father?
Yes. If you have to expand regatta, look at introducing a monohull yacht race.
What?
Like we had to start to think outside the box. In other words, we had to start to think outside the box to kind of expand it.
Hello. Yes, but that's what I've been suggesting for the longest while.
Yeah.
And you know what happened here? We were foolish enough to ignore the people that is going to make it happen for us when they came and patronized us in large numbers the last time around.
Okay.
Huh? Why is it that when Tobago came here last time, when Tobago first came here, they came with 12 boats and a Togan badge and the cultural group? You see the contribution to the Carriacou Regatta? When I went to Bekwe year before with one boat, they came with 6 as a reciprocation. And we didn't take advantage of that. How many are the regatta enthusiasts welcome the guys from Bekwe and say, we're happy for having you and we want to show you a good time so you could come again?
First of all, I think we should have representation of all the classes in whatever class we have in regatta. Carriacou should have representation in all classes.
Amen.
Right?
Amen.
Because you can't have you can't have a Miss Aquaval and contestant from Carriacou there. Yeah, that is you know. So
I have no problem with that.
We should start, developing our own flag, our own fleet. Yeah, and that goes in parcel with the culture and the boat building and the sailing.
Correct.
And that should happen throughout the year because it takes time to build a boat, it takes time to rig a boat, it takes money, it takes everything, planning, it takes everything.
Let me give you a little bit. Let me give you a little bit of history. And you guys are young, but I like to educate. When there were 2 boats, let's take for example in Leicester, and I know we know 2, and the boat that was built for Leicester and Carriacou was built by Jassy Compton, right. From Woodward, right? It was called God's Angel. Right. But back then, the guys from Bekwe, they would come to Carriacou and they were far advanced. They just come to beach as though young parents, and then they go back because what they were sailing was far superior to what we have. Okay? I ran into this guy, Reynold Taylor. He was famous for building boats in Bekwe. None of his boats came second. He didn't know how to build a boat that's coming second. You're talking about country girl, you're talking about move up, you're talking about big stuff. I was so excited. I tell the guy, move from the Bronx to Brooklyn so that he could build a boat for me. That is how Ace come to Carriacou. Ace went to Bekwe and come first for the first time. For the first time, a boat coming from Carriacou and going to Bekwe and coming first. The guys from Bekwe said that is unacceptable. No boat from Carriacou should come to Bekwe and come first. So the Bekwe Sailing Club got together and built a boat called Bluff. Next year when we go with Ace, they beat us to a pulp. They said that they're not accepting that. Luckily for us, they came back the same year and we had a better conditions for it, and we did the same thing to them. That create a kind of friendly competition.
Banter, yes,
Banter.
exactly.
So as a result, you have, after Bluff, you have, what was the name again? Oh my God. It was built by, not Perseverance. Lennox Taylor's boat. It's on the beach and we don't know. Well, that boat, I remember the name just now. That was built by the brother of the guy who built mine. He didn't like the fact that even back when boat was building this. So he built something. Braveheart. Braveheart is the name of the boat. He built Braveheart. Braveheart beat everybody. He beat Bluff again for beating this. As a result, they built Perseverance in Budget Farm. And from Perseverance to Braveheart to Cloudy Bay and all a competition, and the festival grew leaps and bounds. And more money was made. But the kind of things that the kind of attention we was paid to the sport. You see, and then comes Verrell and Colin. That's why I'm so proud about Colin, because he was always.
I was there. I was around.
Right.
Just on vessel, but I was around.
Right. Colin was always telling me, he used to call me Dad, that I'm going to build a boat to beat Ace. And so when he built Skylar, that was a different level again, you know.
I know.
Okay, so when Skylar made it to Bakeway and decided to revenge everything, and Skylar beat everybody, that now, you know why I went to Bakeway and I went to Bakeway with Skylar this year? They want everybody looking forward to see Skylar, because Skylar is the king of the crowd, you know. We didn't do as well because we weren't as equipped as the guys are, because those guys keep moving up all the time. In works of rig and crew, they were far superior. But so I'm planning when they come down this August that they go meet a different Skylar. You understand? Because the only thing they come into Carriacou for, they want to beat Skylar.
So, hold on, they're coming down in August.
Yes.
Around the same time as Regatta to race?
Correct.
Or?
Yes, in large numbers.
Really? You know, one of the projects we had for Winward Pride is adding a 28 footer to the fleet.
Mm-hmm. Okay, fine. Very good. Very good.
That's before burial. That's before burial.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
And we had spoken to Veral, and
yeah.
And to me, we needed that. We needed to compete. We needed to be part of that competition.
That's what created the excitement. That's what created the excitement.
But with that being said, I think Peter Martin need a sloop or two.
Yes. Well, Peter Martin needs. Well, I couldn't understand for the life of
Peter Martin in terms of ownership. I know they're part of the cruise, but they need a couple boats out of Peter Martin.
Yeah, those guys should be encouraged. I mean, I know the tuna trade is taking up everybody's time.
And if we could do it, if we three guys from Winmart could do it, I mean, those guys could team up and
precisely. But we have to encourage them, and when the excitement. One thing you must notice: every regatta Monday, somebody billing. But Tuesday,
right.
somebody billing.
And the week after,
he got the idea gone.
Everybody forget about it.
So you have to maintain that excitement to get them interested. Yeah. That's how it is done. So what? And then when you keep and as a matter of fact, you just get some idle threats. Tell the man you go beat him and that encouraging people to build boat.
Yeah, well, that's how we not there. Carriacou, Pennsylvania, we get started.
Yeah,
well, no, we know the goal.
And that's the atmosphere that really makes regatta exciting.
Precisely, the right to boast.
You know,
the right to boast. That's all we need. Because I tell you, in Tobago, there is my boy Billy. Billy is a little bit of a dwarf, but he mouth big. Oh God, he mouth big. And when you see Billy in a boat. But if you beat him, Billy boat come in last, he boats in. God help you if you beat you. God help you. But we must have Billy around, because Billy's the life of the party. Because when you enjoy these things and you have fun, you want to do it again. And that's how the culture is sustained. Instead of we spend time thinking how we could entertain ourselves and what we could do to make it better. Have our cultural group and everything affiliated with Carriacou Regatta. We send how much government to give us. Let government go with you. Regatta was there before government. And it should be there long after government. Yes.
When we start in the round table meeting now about all that.
Well, I don't know if I will live long enough when I'll make up all your mind. I've been trying for the longest time.
Are we ready?
Are we ready?
we ready, Yeah.
Well,
ready?
I'm always there. We always talk. I said I'm always there. and I'm always prepared to learn some of the knowledge that I learned from the elders. So, but if people's idea is only to deal with government, we ain't getting nowhere. And I know that for a fact.
No. We know again, like how we know depending on government. I know you are Kim against that too, because the way Kim talking is like Kim no want us, get a little raise or anything
Not
like that.
raise. You see, raise. You when I want to get raised, you want regatta. that must be the emphasis.
No. We just want. I just want to dispel that myth that it's all about money for the boatmen.
No, my son, money, man. No money.
For me as a boat owner, and really and truly, we had to separate boat owners from boatmen because there only a few of us, a handful of us.
Yeah, but Leo, the little funding we get for regatta in 2023, all that money went back to Carriacou, because we pay all them man who race with us. We spend money back on food and drinks and everything in the little island in the community.
I have no doubt about that. I have no doubt about that. But don't make it seem as though you cannot race without that.
No. Yeah, we're not making it seem we're just asking for we fair share. You understand?
Here again?
No,
everybody else getting their fair share.
You know who owe you your fair share? You know
the only time them don't kill us make money is around regatta time.
You know who is responsible for your fair share? You, not government. It's not going to happen. Put that in your pipe and smoke it. You are responsible for your fair share. You have to do for self. And when you do for self and you make what you have to make, government will be happy to subsidize you and keep the thing going because it'll mean good for government. But you have to make the start, not government. Government doesn't have the passion. You understand? That's what we're talking about, both men.
And I want to say something.
Go ahead.
The regatta committee, right, has to do better.
Hey, listen, my friend. We do not have.
Hold on.
Before you go, let me say this.
Hold on. Okay, let me rephrase. In the past, the regatta committee has been left to be desired.
Because it's not a thing.
And going forward, any such body organization has to be serious.
No. Hello. That body has.
Hold on. Let me speak. Has to be serious about what they're doing, what we are doing.
Oh, okay.
Because I'm not going to be involved in anything with jokers. This is serious. This is my love, my passion. Any jokers, I don't want to be a part of it. Please. So let's be serious. And come together to make the festival what it should be, and what it once was in the 90s and whatever.
Well, that if you come here with that serious attitude, then we'll get somewhere. But as it stands now, the jokers you don't want to be among. You are one of the jokers, because let me finish. Hello. Leave. We do not have, as of now, we do not have a regatta committee. How many people on the regatta committee has anything about boat, has a boat, run a boat, know anything about boat? They don't know the difference between boom and bow. In other words, if you know you don't put a shoemaker to pull out teeth.
Mr. Leo, let me stop. Before you go further, I said if in the future. It's not the word if. I'm not saying there is or there have to be.
Well, it didn't have to be if we could do it. If we put our minds together and do what has to be done. In other words, again, if you want to pull out teeth, you go to a dentist. Why go to a shoemaker?
Right, but we cannot be absent of the fact that there is a regatta. There is a, as you say, legally established body, right? Anyhow, a legally established body is a part of our festival. I'm saying that we need to be serious going forward. We need to be serious.
Okay.
And that's all I'm saying. I'm not pinpointing, and I'm saying we need to be. Everybody know we not try this game. We serious. We there.
Yeah.
We the one calling. We the one reaching out. We the one doing everything. So our commitment and our passion, you can't deny that.
No. Well, and then something. Right? Listen. I know we're not pride. Is you guys are serious and you guys want to make a difference. You see, right. But that Benson Patrice.
Right.
That Benson Patrice was, we tight. As a matter of fact, he just want to bake with me,
Right.
But that my friend, with all what I might have to give him, and that you have to give him what is his for his contribution to Caracon
Of course,
Regatta.
of course, and how to get all the credit, Mr. Leo. You had to get a
Precisely.
whole lot of credit. You had to
Precisely.
get a trophy and everything like that.
Amen. Amen. Precisely. So those are the things we must look at, and then
of course,
if we could work together instead of forget government. When you do the right thing, government will
Go
follow.
back there, Leo, Mr. Leo. We finished that already. Don't go back.
All right, well, good.
Anyway,
Yeah,
you have
yeah.
more people out of college.
Okay. Yes. By the way, you guys coming for regatta?
Well, we are waiting for you to tell us what's going on.
Well, you know now.
Because we hearing things, we don't know.
You know. Well, because you all didn't give me a chance. That I just break it to you.
All right, we go talk a little more on that.
Yeah, you got a lot of boots in Caracol.
So, Kim,
Yeah.
before I go, Mr. Kim.
Yeah.
Number one, what number can we reach you on in terms of the pledge with the groceries?
You could call me on 404 3992.
Hold on, I'm writing it down.
Hold on. So I'll play right now.
404?
Yeah, 404 3992. By the way, because I also pledged $200 to her groceries as well, too, you know.
Yeah, well, this
nice. Look at that.
Yes, it's good.
Look at
Man.
that.
She deserves every ounce of it.
So she getting,
she getting
double. She getting double now.
yeah. And more to come.
Look at that.
More to
Maybe
come.
somebody else might call in and add to it too. You never know.
Yes.
So you have now you have my number 404-3992. We could always get on WhatsApp. We could communicate.
Mr. Mills.
Yeah.
Can you make a pledge going forward on the program that maybe we allocate some time, maybe a couple minutes to have a regatta voting discussion?
No problem.
Well, you just get half an hour.
You just get more than half an hour, and you could get more. You could get more in the future once the parties agree and everything like that. Because I'm looking right now. You get what, 41, 42 minutes?
So, you can't say in here.
So you can't complain.
Look at that.
Okay. Well, let's keep it.
All right,
let's keep it going. Okay.
Stay in touch, guys.
Thank you. Thank you for the time and looking forward to a futuristic.
And I'm looking forward to hearing more about Windward Pride, because you know what the first race when you guys raced the last time there was a record breaking, eh?
It was,
of course.
It was.
And after,
and if anyone of you what was there, I get the ass cut too.
Yeah, we'll talk.
Wishful thinking.
All right.
Later.
Take care.
Bye bye.
All right, man. Thanks.
Okay, bye bye. Okay, bye bye. You see this boat bragging rights. Bragging rights when it comes to boats. Let me tell you something, man. They run the race on the show before the race run. While the race is running on the sea, they're running the race on the land.
Show, yes.
They're running this. And when they come back, and when the race is finished, they go back on the show now to rerun the race that was just run on the sea. That's the way it is.
But I tell you should be back.
Okay. All right. Anyway, let's continue with the discussion.
Yeah, so
okay?
is this
Yeah.
and I think this kind of attitude, this kind of excitement, it augurs well for the festival.
Yeah.
I mean, and not only for the festival, those on the sea, but there are those of us who on the show, on the land. I mean, when we see the excitement, we could understand. Understand what's really happening.
I remember trying to listen. I remember doing coverage of the regatta.
Yeah.
And I sent some guys all the way out in Windward. I sent some in Mount Royal. I sent some in Casada Bay, down in Leicester, in Paradise Beach, and in Hillsborough. And I was communicating with them because you saw at certain time on the island in particular, you lose track. Once they go certain areas, right? And believe me, it was exciting. I sat down all day, all morning, just monitoring that on air. That's how exciting it is, and that's how passionate I'm about with this when it comes to boat racing. Because I used to, be on one of the boats off and on here and there, But it's nice. I love it, honestly. Vibes FM, Land and Color, come in.
Hello,
Sorry.
yeah, Kim.
Yes, go ahead.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Tell Brother Leo, you take all the talk. But anyway, very interesting, very informative about what's going on in our Caracol regatta.
Yeah, definitely.
But one thing you did say about Big Way is that
he didn't realize why doesn't push more in the regatta. It's all about politics because Bekwe is like Grenada and Carriacou, right? It's like NLP and what the other party name, NDC.
Yeah.
The ruling party is the ruling party, and Carriacou is always the NDC, right? So they have a problem there because Bekwe is for the opposition and not for the government. Bekwe, Union, Mairo kind of one there for the opposition and not for the government. So that's problem number one, right? And in Carriacou, when we talk about what we have to do here and how we have to organize our thing about the government, you are right. We depend too much on the damn government.
Okay.
We don't expect them to invest in regatta because Grenada can't sail, they can't even swim. So how do you expect them to invest in regatta?
Yes, so we have to lead the way.
We have to lead the way. And what Leo said about put your money where your mouth is and go and do your thing. It's as simple as that.
Yeah.
Okay?
Okay.
So congratulations, fellas. Keep on doing it.
All right, okay.
Okay.
Let me take another call. The landline caller, thank you for waiting. Landline caller, come in.
Good day, sir.
Yeah, good day, yes.
Earlier on, I heard you were speaking of a minority government that governs Ella.
Yeah.
Was that really true?
Well, that's what we said, because if you remember what happened in that after the party in the convention when Key took over, then and Blaise was the prime minister at the time. He didn't have the majority of seats then while he was still prime minister.
But you see,
that's not true.
The constitution gives way to a majority and not a minority. Minority have to be opposition, not government. No, the thing is, if it happens so, is that those who were involved in the politics were not aware of what they were doing. Because we have 15 seats in our parliament. The winner needs 8 to pass the post. Once you win 8 seats, you forget about the rest of the count. Even if you might get all 15, or you might get 2 more, once you reach 8, you start jumping up because you win. Nobody can beat you again. If you have a crossing of the flow in the parliament, okay, whereby members crossing from the ruling party to the opposition, once on the opposition side there is more than, it means that the government falls. Okay, the government falls. How are you going to get your bills passed in parliament with a minority government? You cannot get it done. So I don't know how they allow that to happen at that time.
Well, what transpired after when that transpired? Blaise pulled a fast one on them, if I were to use those words to that effect. In that he prorogued Parliament.
Right, but that was the best thing to do.
Well, because he couldn't move forward without doing that. I mean, with this disruption that took place there, it would have been total chaos.
But one thing that came to mind, he did not have the power to prorogue Parliament. I'm going to tell you why. We see that happen in 1990. Let me see, election 1995. And
99.
And in 1999, it happened when Raphael Fletcher resigned.
Yeah, right, okay.
Because the result was 8-7. And when Raphael Fletcher resigned, what should have done? Parliament was supposed to call. And if there is a crossing of the flow, because sometimes you resign when you like the party so much, you still stay on board. So, but they had to see if Raphael Fletcher going to exit Parliament or if he going to go on the opposition side.
Right.
And once that happened, the then government become the opposition. You cannot tell me you have a minority and a program parliament. What power do you have? The power is not with you. You see, that is why I said, when Keith made Daniel Williams Governor General, I said it was for him to do dirty work. and that's what Daniel Williams did. Daniel Williams should have known that Keith didn't have the power to do anything there because Raphael Fletcher resigned and make him have 7. Okay? And this, might have capitalized on the Raphael Fletcher issue. But he didn't want that to happen. So he get Daniel Williams, I think, was the Monday morning because Raphael Fletcher resigned the Friday night. And the Monday morning, Parliament prorogued. That's not supposed to be. That is an error. So it seems like our politicians does not understand the procedure, does not understand that at all. I hope in the future that would not be slipped by.
But didn't
somebody?
Yeah, but when that happened, didn't he just decide that he wasn't going to look for any crossing of the flow or anybody to do anything and just decide to go back to the polls?
You see, going back to the polls, I believe the parliament should have been there. If you want to go back to the polls, let's see what the governor general is doing. Because somebody could file a motion, a constitutional motion. And if they file it, that matter have to go to the constitutional court. And then how are you going to the polls when you have to wait on the constitutional court? Somewhere I think there's confusion.
Yeah.
Somebody not understanding. It could be me, but somebody not having the understanding. I wish somebody who knows best to clarify that because it may happen again. And I would not like to know it happen again and it continues as how it was in the past. Good day.
Yeah, okay. Wow, gentlemen.
Yeah.
This thing is something else, huh?
I plead the fifth.
Really?
Stop 6 and 7 too?
Yeah, 5, 6, and 7. I don't know.
Nothing wrong in playing the FIFA.
Yeah.
I think that's your best option.
Yeah, right now.
Yeah, right now. Yeah, stay out of it. Eh?
Yes, as long as I'm so happy it's in the past. That's something I have to do in politics.
443-0101, 443-0101, and 403-0101, 403-0101, 458-1914, 458-1914. If you want to join the conversation, you can do so. The GDM, Koi, what does that mean?
Grenada Development.
GM.
What GM?
TGM.
The Grenada Movement.
Oh.
The Grenada Movement.
Oh,
yes.
But that's the one that lasts as long as a snowball in hell.
No, but is it the one that we see now, the movement, the Grenada Movement?
Yeah.
No, there's a different something you have. And in new, you have TGM, which is the Grenada Movement. Now you have what has been suggested, I think, is New GM, New Grenada Movement. With all that movement, and we still stand still.
Vibes FM. What's up, caller coming?
Well, yes, and good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Thank you for continuing to keep our safe. I remember election previous.
Bad connection.
Caller. Hello. Caller?
Hello?
Yes, go ahead, yeah.
I know that our children has graduated or is about to make their final term. They are just going to select some children coming to the race. So I say let the race begin. And I just want to congratulate the government for what they're doing and continue to do. They're on the right track.
Mm-hmm.
Have a great weekend.
Okay, yeah, thank you so much. Okay. Next WhatsApp caller, come in. Hello, caller, yes, you're on now. Caller?
Hello?
Yes, go ahead. Yes, you're on now.
Yeah, what I was saying to you, the guy getting confused. You could have a minority government because what the Constitution say, the person who control the most in Parliament shall be the leader. But in the case what he's talking about in and both parties there wasn't a joint opposition. Both people had their own agenda. They never come together as one and tell the Governor General theirs as one. So Kit Mitchell with his two men, NDC with the six guys. So there wasn't one unit. They came two different heads. So that's why the Blaze administration was able to rule for that period of time. And it always the Prime Minister have the right to prorogue Parliament at any time he feels. So the man getting confused.
So you don't have to go to Parliament to do that.
Advise
I mean, you could just advise Parliament.
He decided when he go. Yes, because if you say Kit Mitchell and NDC, they merge together, then Blaze and TNP would not have been the government after the split. But because they were separated.
First, them two together.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it's simple to understand parliamentary democracy. It's simple. Okay, thanks.
Okay, Colin. All right. Wow.
Yeah, although there were two different sides in Parliament on the opposition side, two different split. They weren't coming together. So Blaze still had the upper hand.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, you won't find NDC and NNP kit version coming together. I mean, they wouldn't want to, they want to do that. So yeah, I think that last caller really did make some positive points there. And so the Prime Minister has the authority to advise the Governor General to prorogue, and of course the Speaker. Well, of course, the government, the ruling party would always have the edge and always have the control. It's interesting history.
Yeah,
very interesting.
Well, it's good. I say it's good for discussion because our history is not really documented. So I mean, if we don't speak and try to understand it, we don't even know what's going on. I mean, really,
there are a lot
I think now that should be a priority on part of the government. Let me take another call here. Vibes FM caller, what's up, caller? Comment. What's up, caller? Comment.
Good morning.
Yes, good morning. Yes.
Good morning and afternoon. Sorry.
Afternoon. Yes.
Yeah, this person not calling.
Caller. Before you continue, turn your radio down. Turn something down. The volume down. In the back. Yes, turn it down, please.
Right, you hear me now?
Beautiful. Thank you.
Yeah. No, the last person that calling. NDC and NNP could not join up at that time because NDC just formed from NNP. Right? So Papa Blaze had his right to hold the leadership until it tenure done. Because Kit Mitchell take the party from Blaze while in government. And Brisa and them drop out in 1987. 2 years after Brisa and drop out, Kit Mitchell take the party. So Brisa also hold on till the next election until they come and lost it. Right? But NDC is going stronger and stronger and stronger now. Because you don't know no use for confusion. All what the opposition doing is trying to frustrate the Grenadian people. But we are not stupid. We know what we want, and we have the best for now. I don't say it for later yet, because I know how Grenadians stand. For me, it's later because I don't change. Right? I stand firm. This morning I hear a caller people talking about the RMC and this and that and the other. But they're jealous. The reasons why there was RMC and they followed from NDC. So they decided and say about NDC calling them RMC. NDC don't call them RMC. If them is RMC, that's their business. I want to see the country develop to the highest level. And we're going right there. It's just taking us a little time. Karumbo billion a day. Take a lot of years. Dr. K said 23.5 years. And what he don't do, NDC do it already. And he do more than what he do. Right? right?
Yeah.
So we don't have no problem. We ride it smooth and nice.
Right.
Okay?
Okay.
So let us stay focused. Keep the people in Calico alive.
Okay.
Let us keep them alive. Don't worry.
All right. Okay.
Right?
Okay.
We there we are.
All right.
We there with them.
Okay then.
Okay.
Okay. Bye bye.
All right.
Wow. Now, somebody just mentioned, okay. So when we had the elections in 90, that's when the NDC fraction won the election under Braffett.
Braffett, yes.
Right.
Yes. NDC, yes.
Right.
NDC won.
So the
90.
the NNP under Keith at that time lost.
No, yes. Well, what it is? So the NNP, yes, the NNP, because
you had a new leader. That was Keith.
Yes. And so the TNP didn't really gain anything. Well, Blaze wasn't there because he died in December.
Right.
And March was the election.
NDC won.
NDC won, Braffett, Nicholas.
Right.
Yeah.
And okay. And then in 95, NNP got 7, right?
Yes, and NNP got NNP got 7.
So many N's and P's. Vibes FM
and T and N and P.
Yeah. So much of the men mixing up people saying what they want to. Let's join back. You had NNP won the election in 1984 against the GOLP.
Right.
Brizan and them break away before 1990. Right? So then Keith Mitchell break away before 1990. So that means you had maybe 8 opposition parliamentarians versus 7 parliamentarians. So that means the opposition in parliament was more than the government. But what happened? They never bind as a force. What the guy thinking they also make one party? Because they were separated. So none of them couldn't say, because the constitution clearly says the person who controls the majority in parliament shall be the leader. So at that time, if NDC had 6 as NDC, Kit Mitchell had 2 as NNP. No matter NNP won the election, but then TNP come out when Kit Mitchell break away, he left Blaze with 7 members. Regardless of what was it, he left them with 7 numbers. So what the guy is saying is still contrary to the constitution. He don't understand in that.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And then you were talking about the GDM in Grenada Democratic Party. That when Kit Mitchell, Francis Alexis, and that Benjamin. I think that Benjamin guy, he was an attorney. He used to practice law in Trinidad. He had an office on Market Hill.
Reynolds.
Them was the GDM.
Oh, okay.
Reynolds Benjamin. Them was the GDM. And Brizan had
NDP?
National Democratic Party.
Yeah.
Winston White had his piece, and Mr. Blaze had GNP. That's how NNP come about. I don't know this thing. I don't know why people just like to give the put their handle to it. The thing easier, you could research it. Go back and if you don't have it, you didn't know at the time, but they come and mislead people.
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you so much. Our history, eh?
Well, I'm not interested.
Not interested in our history?
Yeah, history.
Not our history, this politics.
Yeah.
Or this politics.
Yeah. Because things are a little bit different now. Okay. Let me go back to another cell call. Cell phone. What's up coming here?
Yeah, I call back.
Yeah.
No, that's not what the guy is saying, right? When GDM and them from they came only from NNP. GDM was GDM, GOLP,
No.
GDM,
GLP wasn't there.
NDP, and Papa Blaze.
CDLP.
Yeah.
Go in on the island.
Union.
And from NNP.
Union.
Right? That's where they got from NNP.
Right.
After they win the election in 1984, right? When NMP was in power, Dr. Kit was outsmarting them Papa Blaze, right? Fighting to put Papa Blaze against Brizan, Alexis, and others, telling him that they want to take the party from him. And I mean, he know he was the man behind it. Okay? At that time, KB was organizing in Tivoli for Kit, right? To take the party away from NNP. Okay?
Yeah.
So now, Briza and them come out of the party in 1987 and they form NDC. Okay? So now, in 1990, when Blaze called the election, they lose. Blaze didn't win. Briza didn't win a majority. Two men in Blaze unwin, which was Walker and probably Ben Jones. Dr. Gibbs win for Gary. He said that was northeast, right? And after that, they come together and they form NDC. They joined up NDC, so NDC formed the government. Okay? And in 1995, NDC come and lost the election. They could have stayed in office, you know, but Battis and Rapier joined NNP and called NNP to go back in power, right? And from there, NDC stay on their own. NDC didn't join another party and from any coalition. They stay on their own. We lost in 2003. We win in 2008. We lost in 2013. And then we lost in 2018. We win 2022. You understand?
Okay.
So nobody don't mix up nothing. The guy doesn't understand that people don't take from the back. You just take from where you start, from where the breakup starts, and move on. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Okay.
Kit went before. So that is it.
All right, caller. Okay. Thank you for your contribution there. Okay.
What time is what you know when you grew up in school, I don't know what used to happen in your time, Solio. I'm gonna ask what time the whistle blowing because everybody within for school to over now.
Yes.
So what time the whistle supposed to blow? But yeah,
But as you realize, when it comes to the politics right now, and it's going to start heating up even more because campaign starting now. Let me take a call first. Vibes FM caller, call me.
Hello, good afternoon.
Yes, good afternoon.
Yeah, I'm calling for the program.
Yes, go ahead. You're on. You're live. Yeah.
Okay. Well, NDC, pertaining to NDC, NDC is a very strong party, right? And I supported NDC since, in the days of, Siddiqui Sylvester, with George Brizan and so on. I used to support them long. And that's a party I never, even though they lose a million times, I never left them. I always stick with them. And that's very important. You stay with your party as long as you're a true NDC person. Win or lose, you will stay with your party, and that's what I used to do. And another thing. Yesterday in my constituency, the former Prime Minister, when he passed, and was sharing drinks for his NMP supporters in the constituency. Yeah, he passed around sharing drinks something for them yesterday. Yeah. So I want you all to have a blessed day, everyone, and
thank you.
Take it easy, and God bless you all.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, thank you. All right. Okay. Let me. Right. Mm-hmm. You're saying something?
No, I just wanted to reflect on what this last caller said, that he was sharing drinks yesterday.
Well, that is the norm. That's the way they've been. That's how they do the campaign, you know, is to put something in the mouth.
Pot of food.
Yeah, pot of food. That's it. They don't have no substance. We know that already. But there's this election coming up going to be different. Vibes FM, what's up, caller coming?
Thank you very much again. Pleasant good evening. How are you all? I hope everybody's Mr. Corey, how are you doing, sir?
I do, boy. I do. Holding on.
Well, I have 4 books before me here. 4 books I have before me here today. The Grenada Constitution 73, the Truth and Reconciliation Commission report, and that 26, sorry. The Claims Commission, boy. That's another one by recommendation of the Claims Commission. And you know, inside of that book, I'm looking at people's name like Teddy Victor, Tillman Thomas. Tillman Thomas collects $42,200. Tillman Thomas $42,300. Kenny Lansing by. Trying to ask him for help, but you know, he going me and saying he ain't doing, he can't make other person and whatnot. But he collect over $58,000 just the same. I don't know that in black and white here. The Claims Commission. I mean, the place was burned down in the timing. And I think the intention here was to get rid of all of these documents and whatnot. But somehow the Almighty Creator assisted me and allowed me to get a hold of these books and whatnot, etc. The Truth and Reconciliation Commission. Well, I mean, our good lady there, what is her name? What she is again, boy? She doing 2 jobs in one anyhow. She was secretary at one time in this Truth and Reconciliation thing. I don't know. I was recommended to go to her to see if I could get her help because, as I said, the state owes me over $100,000. Well, probably by now it's $200,000. But the Constitution reform, you know, that's what I kind of more interested in, man. The Constitution reform, because it's about time for us to deal with that issue. You know, because it is a written fact here. It is thereby instructive that neither the document which terminated Grenada's status as an associated state of the United Kingdom nor the existing constitution of Grenada is an enactment of the Parliament of Grenada. And it also goes on furthermore, further the constitution has never received legislative approval by the Parliament of Grenada. And I am saying now that under all talk and whatnot, I would call on this present administration because this report for reform, and that was probably in there with people like Nicholas Liverpool and people like Bristol, with that one there and gone. You know, a couple other people and whatnot. And this is what we really need because we need to get more proactive. You see, like how Mia Motley won the election and almost immediately after, and she went over to being a democratic system and whatnot, etc. And I think, yeah, because I listened to these prime minister, this present prime minister and a couple others. You know, I asked a question. We're on Reddit, kind of become the norms already. So we just have to continue it or words to that effect. I mean, you know, anyhow, I won't be able to stay too long again because whatnot. But it's good hearing you all, and we are wrong. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you.
Man. Okay, man. Okay. Yeah.
Some good news came out recently out of Trinidad, you know, in saying that Kamala,
they want to extend their research
to Grenada.
They canvass into Grenada.
Well, yeah, it's saying one of the first on the agenda order of business is to assist Grenada with the oil and gas. Because
assist Grenada, you say?
Well, yeah.
Assist Grenada?
Well, basically, you know, to help them develop.
Yeah, well, did you hear the response of the opposition leader to that? You know, he's suggesting that that's not a good, that we should take it with a pinch of salt, because he was the Minister of Energy before, yeah. I mean, although he took on the leadership and prime ministership of government shortly before the election, but he gave some very, very interesting data in regards to that. But however, I mean, you know, I'm just saying that is as a result of Camilla saying that she wants to connect with Grenada to look at this whole gas and this gas issue. So you have information on all sides. While that is happening, the leader of the opposition is saying, take it, please, take this with a pinch of salt. And it's not just as simple as we want to go and help Grenada. So I guess that's what.
Well, what is really going on too, is that this administration is taking the time and make sure that they dot all the I's and cross all the T's. They're not moving just like that.
Of course, yes.
I mean, if you listen to the presentation that was made by Nazim there, I think he went into detail to let you know the pathway of getting results.
And he's saying that I just recalling now that in the article that was done by the Guardian during that, he said this thing will take within 10 to 15 years to come to a mutual place where we can agree on something. 10 to 15 years from now.
Very good. Yeah. I mean, it takes time. Anything like that would take time, so we expect that. But speaking about the different parties who might be contesting this election, with the new one that's going to be forming soon, the Peter David fraction.
That is Nobody party? The Peter David fraction?
No.
It's a nice name,
Yeah, because everything we have is a movement. But yeah,
fraction?
Yeah.
No, it's fraction.
Yeah.
But yes.
But with them coming and trying to get in the picture, did they officially launch us yet?
Not
I know of.
But we have these people waiting in the wings now. We have what? There was one in Kaiko here, but I think she lives in Guyana now. What?
Oh,
hope for something?
Hope for Grenada, Kaiko, Pitima, I think HC.
Anyhow, so that is one also who came on the scene and really want to make a contribution. And he's putting.
So you think that she's going to be contesting the election?
Yes.
No, we're talking serious business though.
No, serious.
Change.
But and you have a petition signed by people who want you to be. This lady may be able to get enough people sign up a petition.
No, change hope for Grenada Kaiko Pitmatic.
Yeah.
What's that?
Change hope.
Yeah.
For
GCP. Right. Change hope, right? For Grenada Kaiko and Pitmatic.
Yeah. So we have that one there. We possible. I'm just thinking about the possibles. The movement. GLP will definitely contest the next election. NDC, NNP.
5FM. What's up, Gala coming?
Yes. Good day.
Yeah, good day.
Good day, sir.
I'm on the program.
Yes, go ahead.
Yeah. Tell me,
Mr. Mills.
Yes.
I've got some information coming to me with the Postal Corporation. That doesn't sound too nice. Do you have any idea how people get mails in Carriacou today?
No.
Maybe you might be able to tell me what you've been hearing.
Well, I know for a fact that there are certain people that haven't gotten mails from since February.
Yeah.
We're talking about utility bills and things like that. So, and they have no proper place of operating, apart maybe from Mount Pleasant area, and I don't know where else. But when it comes to Central, they don't have a central spot, and I couldn't see for the heck of it why they could not have set up something down at the port where people could go there on a regular time that the post office operate and get the mails. Talking about Hurricane Beryl is too far for we talk about Hurricane Beryl as an excuse. Yeah.
Well, what I
don't know who in charge of the Postal Corporation. I don't know.
I don't know either.
Yeah.
But they didn't move back as it to the administrative now.
No,
it's going to be soon.
It's going to be soon though, because
Yeah.
the building. Yeah, but
Then move back there, but they move back there yet. But I mean to say that is a corporation that's supposed to be working still.
well, what they've been doing though, I could tell you, is that in the Hillsborough area, they have been doing delivery of mails.
Well, even before.
To some people. To some people.
Well, I if they know where to find you.
That's true.
Yeah, I
my,
know that. Yes.
My mails, where my mails go in Hillsborough, they haven't delivered mails there for the last how much months now.
Okay.
And after questioning, what was said that maybe someone could go to Mount Pleasant and get it about 9 o'clock in the morning. And the problem they don't have a postman to handle that area. And a number, excuse me, doesn't make sense.
Corey, you said they don't have a postman in that area to handle it? Was it that to say?
That was what was said.
Yeah. Well, okay. That's what I know. There's a person. There's someone there.
But mails wasn't delivered. Mails was not delivered.
Mm-hmm.
As normally where it delivers from since February to now. The last mail delivery was sometime in February.
Okay. Well, I don't know. So I can't really make too much comment. But what is saying there? I mean, it's not a nice situation. I mean, it's not healthy.
The Postal Corporation is a private. They privatize it, and if who there can, I have a motto: if who there can do it, get somebody to do it. We need service, and if we can't get service, we getting people get out of there and put people that could give us the service. I hope somebody from Postal Corporation is hearing and could pick it up, explore the Postmaster General or who the hell they are. Get themselves together and get something done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're right.
All right, Mr. Mills. That's my contribution on that.
All right, thank you so much. Okay. And let me remind our listeners, 443-0101. 443-0101, 403-0101, and 458-1914. 458-1914. Campaign is in the air. Listen, this gentleman, there's a program that's coming up pretty soon, starting here. I'll just give it, let me see if I could just find it quickly there to give it to you as it is, yes. All right, it's DMS with PM.
DMS, what is that?
DMS with PM. Direct Messages with Prime Minister Honorable Deacon Mitchell, live. Every Tuesday, starting May 13th.
What is this DMS?
Direct messages with the Prime Minister. DMS. Direct messages, yes. Campaign start. Vibes FM. Hold on, Vibes FM caller.
Hello.
Yes,
Tim,
hello.
How are you?
Okay.
And the panel, that gentleman that just spoke about the corporate mail, he is right. I'm in Hillsborough, and I haven't had any mail, no bills, no nothing delivered since February.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What?
So some may be getting, but some are not getting because I am not getting. I have a parcel, but parcel is different. Mail comes, but the parcel comes from the port. But mails, my bills and all that, I go and pay my bills. I don't wait for it because it's not coming.
Okay.
So there's a lot of truth in what he's saying. I think a lot of people can call and identify and agree or disagree.
Yeah.
But I agree with him. Since February, no mail has been delivered to me.
Right, caller. Thank you. I think this caller could be right, and what they're saying about the meals. Because I'm just thinking back now. I don't recall the last time I went into my office and see any mail there. I mean, as business, what we do everything online now, making it easier since Beryl, we've been doing most of our communication and getting our bills online. So, but thinking about it, I just might have some mails sitting around there for quite a while now. That needs to be coming to it. Vibes FM, sorry, what's up, caller coming?
Good afternoon.
Yes, go ahead, yes.
Touching on oil and natural gas,
Yeah.
Looking back at what Mr. Book said, I'm wondering why that taking so long? I think he mentioned something like it might take what, up to 5 or 6 years, something like that?
He said so, yeah.
Right. Now, my question is, why all these years? We already settled our demarcation with Trinidad and Tobago. And I believe, I'm not sure if we have done that in Venezuela. But Trinidad and Tobago was key. That was done on that in Thomas. And then keep the Chelsea whole thing and give away the Grenada sovereignty to Trinidad, blah, 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 blah. And when we know what that done like. Okay? So now, what needs to be done is to get laws in place. That will take 5 years. Get laws in place, whatever you have to do, okay, to look after that oil, you get the ball rolling. This 5 and 6 years, I don't understand this thing. If you're going to take so long, get somebody else who could bring it forward. Now, the top is that BP had a report on Grenada hydrocarbon. Okay? I heard one guy who was a strong supporter of revolution. He wanted to talk with me and he told me straight up, they sent him to England to smuggle the copies back to Grenada, which he did. Okay? I could mention the village where he's from, Belmont, without mentioning the name now.
Okay.
But I know him personally. Now, he said to me that they told him when he get back to Grenada, give the document to Bonaparte. He said to me that the Russian satellite came over Grenada during the revolution and it also confirmed the report. And he said the oil from the south of the island to up the St. Andrews coast, yeah, around there, and the natural gas from south of the island up to St. Vincent on the west coast. Now, if you need the people to go and do that confirmation, or if you could get back to BP, British Petroleum, in London, see what they can do for you concerning that hydrocarbon. And then move on from there. Or if you have to get what you can, seismic scientists, is it how they call them? Whatever, to do the research. They are available. You want a research, if a boat sink in the waters of St. Andrews, let's say a cruise ship or a cargo boat, you think it's taking 5 years to get divers to go down with to dive to see what they could retrieve? No. The information spread, the company do what they have to do, and here come the divers. Why we have to wait on 5 years? And we need to build, we have a government who is concerned about building our economy and building it fast. And that oil business will help us a long way. The government of Trinidad know that there is oil in the Grenada water. You hear what do you call him? The energy minister in Trinidad, you heard this comment. And he thought that the PNM should have made this collaboration with Grenada already on oil and natural gas. But we in Grenada, we dragging our feet, and a lot of people in Grenada say, we doesn't have that, we doesn't have that, we doesn't have that. Get the people. The ain't taking of 5 years to get the people to come down here. They have all the mechanisms to search and to confirm that for you. And then you move on from there. I've been following Guyana with their thing, you know. They almost went to war with Suriname and Venezuela. But Guyana did what they have to do. And it's because the West was squeezing Guyana. Guyana took long to get into that business. But it was ready. And it's because they told business that there is no more oil well in Trinidad. That is going to open up Guyana. And when they open up Guyana, Guyana has it already. So all them companies, they come along and do the research and the drill. And that's it. That didn't take 5 years after before that. As soon as shortly after, they told business that when she came in office, you know. Guyana had all the thing waiting. Why we have to wait 5 years? Get people who could push the work and get it done fast. Grenada need that facelift, and we can get it from oil. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you so much. Okay. 443-0101, 443-0101 and 458-1914 if you want to call and make a contribution. I think coming out of this the next election, I think there's going to be maybe a extra drive to get our resources, up.
Mm.
If they exist, we still have to use the words if, because there's talk now. We're not sure of what is what, but we have to step on that. Vibes FM, caller comment.
Yes, I'm back with my
Yes.
second piece.
Yes.
I want to find out if people that support NDC don't have can do simple little work like a coordinated to go wrong and find out what the people want in the community and do that. Listen, all you have to stop break all your supporters hat all you doing it too bad, How they call where Kit Mitchell is there in Northwest?
Yes, Northwest.
That man run, they put and NDC put Dowden to run there, he lost his seat. That didn't change the people who vote for NDC. They put Laco didn't win his seat. That didn't change the supporter of the NDC. While they was in power, they enjoyed the 15 seat. Nobody can tell them nothing. Two blow in the wrong. These people used to sit down and hear them curse up NDC supporters, and they take it. Today, NDC win. They put a big, strong supporter of the NNP to be this coordinator. Tell me how you getting that person that support NDC to go to them and tell them, I want that, I want that, I want to be support. NDC people have pride and gratitude, You can't do that. Yeah, people was support all you could do that work. This woman, that woman living in that place how long? And I want Laco, about. I would like you to get in contact with them people that were grading the road and helping them NNP up there. If you true to yourself, tell them to help that lady too. But I had news for them. I wish next week was election. Let me go and vote for the NDC. They could free bad, they could do what they want. Because you know why? We have a good Prime Minister, Honorable Dickon Mitchell, that he love the people, he love young, he spread, he love all over. So I will vote for them. Vote for him because of him, I will vote for NDC. But I find all you making all you supporters look too small and shame in these people and them present. Because them people and them, you think that they are respect for NDC supporters? And now the NDC supporters have to go to them all. Boy, I have to stop that. Stop that, boy. Look for the damn people and put them on top, boy. I ain't saying don't give them nothing, Mr. Leo.
No, I hear
Because
you.
we are Canadian.
Yes.
But you can't let a NDC strong NDC supporter go to the NN. What going on, boy? Anyhow, you have to stop that. I love all you still, but you have to stop that.
Okay.
Okay, my boy.
Hello, Clear.
All right, thank you so much. Landline caller coming.
Hello.
Yes, go ahead. Yes.
Hello.
Yes, hello, you on?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yes, caller, go ahead. Go ahead. Listen to us.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I want to say to you all how much I admire you all. You hearing me?
Yes, we're hearing you. Yes.
How much I admire you all. But I'm only sorry I can't come to Kariku to meet with you all. Yes. You know?
Yeah.
To meet with you all, to have some conversation with you all. Because you know why? I have a lot in me to say. He's an ordinary man that have no education nor intelligence. But I have a lot in me to say. And believe it, yes and no. When I be speaking, it would be me that speaking, well, it's with the inner man in me.
Oh.
Because you know why?
Yeah. Yes, go ahead.
The idea is, I'm of age, and I'm 97 years of age.
Wow.
So you should imagine the experiences that I gained from those politicians and other people.
Yeah.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
But I'm only sorry that I cannot come to Kariku to meet with you all.
Yes.
Yes.
You okay?
But
Due to my health, you know?
Yes,
okay.
yes.
But I had an aunt who was living up there. I don't know if she's living still. Her name is Grace, and most people call her Tanti Grace. I don't know if she's living still. But anyway, however, I'll try to talk to you all some other time again.
Okay, good. Thank you.
But just remember, I say that I admire you all greatly.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
Okay, bye. Yeah.
Because
Yes.
the last caller said that he wanted to meet with us.
Yeah.
Well,
Margot Dream.
that's what I'm making. You know, if we cannot come up, we might have to go down. But yeah, I think, and it's good. 97 years old. I mean, must have had a wealth
lot
of
experience.
Sounds clear.
A lot of
and yes, it sounds clear. This is the kind of thing that we need to secure and document from these people who would have passed through this place many months ago.
Well, I'm surprised to say this girl, you guys talking about what we call campaigns in the air. The NNP never stopped campaigning.
They're quiet now, man.
No, they're quiet on the surface, but underneath the ground, they have a stealth operation going on. And even in Caracou here, they've been campaigning door to door.
Yeah, but in Caracou, who running for them?
Well, they are plural cocks, you know.
Cox by two?
Cox
by two.
Cox squared, man.
Yes, Cox
squared. So we're getting two cocks for the price of one? Price of one?
Yeah. Well, I think, well, I don't know. Because I'm hoping that, well, who is the other candidate? Somebody was saying it's not Nolan, it's not this other Cox, and it's somebody. I wonder where is that coming from?
Well, the thing about it, you know, I don't think they've really decided yet who the candidate going to be. But I've been hearing it is most likely it will be the second Cox, not the first Cox, because the second Cox, who's the chairman now of the executive,
NNP executive,
NNP, right, is maybe showing signs of his interest to run in Caracou.
Okay.
Because I mean, really, Cox, Nolan, he gonna get licks. There's no if about it. Big time. And if the second Cox, what is his name, Will or whatever his name
Leopold?
Yeah, whatever. He gonna get more licks.
Wow.
So it's licks and more licks. Easy like that.
How is it again? No, go ahead.
No, because of the fact that this government is performing so well. This government is performing, and our minister too, as if you've been listening over the last couple of weeks, he's been having these village meetings already, you know, hearing from the people as all they do. Campaign start. The election is 2 years due, you know, according to the constitution. But believe me, if it's 2 years due, we have a long preparation to go.
Oh.
And I feel that this government, based on the performance too, will go the distance. Because the amount of things that they have in the pipeline right now.
That'll be my bet.
Yes.
The
amount of things that they have in the pipeline that are going nice and everything is going, you know,
Mm-hmm.
in the right direction. There's no need to call. So the opposition, right now, they have a long road to travel. And I believe that is one of the reasons why the Peter David fraction has not maybe yet launched or come out, you know, because they anticipate it's not tomorrow.
There's an issue that's going on with what's the gentleman's name? Who is Minister of Education, Lennox Andrews?
No, education is
David Andrews.
David Andrews.
Yeah. What's the issue with him?
I don't know. Somebody, I didn't even have time to check it in. Somebody's telling me how fed up they are with whatever that issue that is trending with Mr. Andrews in the education department. I don't know.
Well, I mean, please, in understanding those things and assessing those things, you would realize that David Andrew, the minister, will be in for a lot of blows. Why? He's running against
Lewis?
No. the leader of the opposition.
Oh, MNP.
Yes, and it is expected that they will pump a lot of
thing for Emily
resources inside there. You will start hearing things about David now, or Carting and that one, just to weaken him, morally and otherwise.
Well, as you just mentioned this, Odion, and I was going to say that before Kari starts speaking, though, in that what you might be hearing right now is coming from the opposition is not real, but they already start this kind of propaganda and all these things against him. He's not really anything is going wrong, because I think he's performing excellent, and he's doing very, very well too. But they're trying to see if they could raise the bar now, or maybe raise Emmeline a little bit higher, to criticize David, so that she might be able to win the seat. Because how many, you guys know how many votes Andrew lost by, or she won by? It wasn't much, it was under 200.
Yes, under 200.
Under 200.
In fact, it was a
Small
surprise.
margin, yeah.
When
It
he
came
lost.
that close, yeah.
Yeah, when he lost.
Right. So right there and then you know that the competition is there. And in order to become prime minister, well, you don't have to really win a seat. I mean, you have to win a seat to get into parliament. But everything is on the line there now for her. So they have to start the propaganda early. And I believe it's propaganda that's we've been hearing about, this rhetoric.
So we have two women, Kate Lewis, three. Kate Lewis, Emmeline Pierre, Clarence Modest. And Keith.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Four.
What's 5,
Well, Peter is out.
Yeah.
Peter is out, and Delma is out.
And Delma is out.
It's 4 of them. Three ladies and one.
Wow.
And they say they're strong.
Well, everything is relative, Everything is relatively strong in comparison to who?
No, because I mean the NNP started off with 6 after the election. They're down to 4, right, at this time. And who knows, by the time election come around, they might be down even more.
Wow.
And that is why the NDC right now is looking at what's going on and getting ready to fire the engines again. And that should be. I believe it's already started based on what I'm seeing.
Who you think might be your candidate in St. George's?
And in the town, Claudette. I believe that she's gonna
contest.
She's going to contest. Well, yeah, because she has been doing a lot of work, and she's been in the picture there for since ever, and she didn't lose by much.
Okay, yeah.
It's by 100 something again. So I believe that she's going to be the pick for the upcoming election. And then if Peter decides to run, which I believe he will, his fraction of votes will come mainly from the NNP and not the NDC.
Correct.
So it's going to make it an easier run for him, for her, rather. Yeah. 5FM, caller, come in.
Yeah. Hello.
Yes.
Me again. I'm
Yeah.
calling back brief again. Since NNP lost election, they started campaigning. They started campaigning since after they lost election, right? They never stopped. So right now, at least I've noticed that NDC having town hall meetings, which is very important and interesting, right? And David Andrew, he had to fasten his seatbelt. He had to organize and know what he's doing, because he's supposed to. He didn't really. She didn't beat him by this big margin, Emmeline Pierre. So I think she's supposed to lose her seat this election coming up. She's supposed to lose her seat, right?
Yeah.
And I solidly behind my party, and I know personally, jump high, jump low, we will be back in government. So it don't make sense all this helter-skelter and all this drama. We will be back in government. That is my perspective, and that is the point I'm making today. Okay.
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 Don't worry about anything.
So I just told you, you know, based on my observation and my predictions, is that it's going to be much easier for Claudette to win the Tongue of St. George now, because the support that she had was close to Peter, and now Peter is going to take some. There's no if about it. If he decides to run in the tongue there, he's going to pull some votes
From
with him.
NNP.
From NNP. And not because the NDC wouldn't go with him because they didn't go with him last election.
But I think it's not just some votes. Peter's is going to be a substantial amount because you still have some sort of a So if that's three-way race, Claudette's stand to benefit.
Well, yeah, definitely. So which means that the NDC now will be stronger and getting the St. George, the Tongue of St. George easier. Vibes FM, let me take another call. There's another Vibes FM caller. Come in here.
Kim, yeah, you're right too. It's going down to the end. It's still getting 13-2. It's still going to give them 13-2. We're going down to the end. You're right.
Okay. Thank you so much. Okay. Now let's move into, if you move into and this country in the south, whoever is running in the south there, I mean, they could just, well, they need the presence of the opposition there, but I don't think they're running there to win. Definitely.
So is there anyone in to win?
No, they weren't to win, no.
Which one is that?
In Andy,
the
alley.
You're making up numbers.
Well, the caretaker doesn't necessarily mean that they would be the candidate, as they sometimes they say, you know, it's just a caretaker. But
look after the interests of the party.
You're running, and you know you're losing. But you're running because maybe you're put to run, and because of pride, you know, you ain't giving up. You know, but I mean, but there's no win there.
But no, we're supposed to have extended an invitation to the new Mr. Cox. You didn't hear from him, did you?
No, I've been so busy. I'll be honest, I've been so busy, and I should make that a priority. Let me see if he's going to show up or not.
Yeah, we want to give him a fair opportunity because people are always of the belief that Vibes is one-sided. Well, Vibes is one-sided because the second side is not taking part. From the ex-Prime Minister on. Every time he extends an invitation, they all.
Yeah. Well, no, but the ex-Prime Minister, he wouldn't come around.
Or missed in action. But he said he was waiting for your invitation, remember?
Yeah, but you see, again, sometimes people do that ad lib. And when you're not hearing nothing from the other side, because when he runs his mouth out, he's going to say, nothing to say, they talk. But anyway, that wasn't serious talk. But now you're going to have him now possible not running based on what he's been saying or is coming from them. The possibility exists that he might decide not to participate as a candidate in the next election.
Well,
possibility.
There's this talk. There's some credible talk about that. There's this talk about Archie. Archie was Bain. You know,
the guy who resigned very early. What? Where are we gonna have him go? He go with Peter.
He went with Peter from party wise. There was talk that he might have been a very good replacement, but in fact, some inside indications are that that was the plan.
And that was going to be in the Northwest, right?
Yeah, Northwest. But you know,
well, then Lacroix could team up.
Well, I don't think Lac will go have any kind of credible. Impression. You know, nothing really. I don't think so.
Delicious.
No. Yeah, I think the best thing for him is to stay out of the politics. Is if the campaign comes around, stay out of it because nobody would pay him no mind. And because of his him being involved in a fellowship or whatever,
the ministry
and things like that there. I don't think he's going to have any impact. People are looking at him different now. So he has to sit out for a while, quite a while, so that people would forget. And then maybe about the next 3 or 4 terms of election, then come back and we forget.
Well, I would. We have a good candidate in Northwest, Dr. Mitchell, because if he wins, he'll be in a minority and no.
You mean he alone has the opposition?
Yes.
And
if he loses, it'll be a disgrace. So,
yes, by FM color, yes.
Yeah, thanks. I'll make a quick comeback. Yeah. Well, I had 2 little concerns. I mean, let me make myself sound like a beggar this time. The burial really fun. I would really appreciate if any one of y'all guys there would try to speed up on this program for me, because I really need it. I mean, never mind I have 1 foot, but I already declare myself from a position or operating, and there is nothing except the Almighty Creator to stop me now from doing my lands. You know what I mean? I'm proud of doing that, and I'm in that. And then on the other hand, as I say, well, for the since burial, I've been maintaining about 400 yards of road in my wheelchair, you know, as a travel. And probably a couple people pass and ask me if I get paid. I ain't getting paid. I would really like to get a little something for the maintenance that I keep doing, you know, patching up the holes and keeping the side of the road clean and these things. But on the other hand, in closing, I want to make a point here. I want to raise a name here that is an answer probably. Gaetan Jonathan Lacrette. And you know, this man prayed this government into office the night up in Peter's Park, and I was so elated. I jumped for joy and whatnot. But I'm not too satisfied with the lack of tolerance or impatience that our Prime Minister has probably shown. Whether whatever he has done or whatever he hasn't done, whatnot. I mean, that is like more or less a secret now. But at the same time, I appreciate that gentleman. You know, I did write the Prime Minister a letter, and inside of that letter, I mentioned about Gaetan Jonathan Lacrette so much, you know, because that man inspired me so much. I am not a religious person. I don't belong to any political affiliation or so, you know, but I listen, and I don't believe in God, and I don't believe in Jesus Christ, because there are many gods, there are many lords, there are many whatever it is. I prefer to say Rastafari, or probably if I had to say Yahweh, or as the case may be, you know. But I would want to find out exactly why this man prayed so much and brought this government into office, and now I'm seeing the back of it. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. Okay. Before we make any comments on that, stick up in there. Vibes FM, line 9 caller coming.
Yeah, it was me.
Yeah.
Leo said, I think you just said something about the NATO guy. But that night when before in Deacon Mitchell constituency in St. David's Day, we all went down, Leo, we went down, I think it's Dallasio, one of them both. And when I heard that pray to Jesus Christ he make, that was the evening I realized that NDC could win the election, you know. Although I'm not a religious guy, me I only believe in me.
You're talking about that in La Sagesse?
In La Sagesse, yeah.
Yes, in La Sagesse, because I went to Judge Prime, me and Judge Prime went down by Ibrahim Roy, and we eat some saltfish and cuckoo by him. And then after we went into the meeting.
Yeah, that was a very convincing speech and prayer. But that's why I was even so disappointed to know the guys at $3 bill. So
But that's why I was so surprised when you all say he ain't in the government no more and so and so and so. Because that was what convinced me that we come down with Carriacou that night on the boat day, breaking Kikamjin in the middle of the night, coming back home.
Right.
And I thought that's when I realized the election is ours.
Right.
Because of his praise.
Okay.
But I ain't religious, you know. This me, I come out to Mount President Gramby, before me skinny, you know, me not religious. But I realized, you know, so we didn't know what went wrong.
Well, something happened, but the Prime Minister, you know, being him in cabinet. Now, the cabinet is something entirely different. It's not like in parliament. And he didn't.
What is the cabinet? What is the cabinet? Not the cabinet, not the government.
Yes, yeah, but I'm just saying the prime minister selects his cabinet, and he selects people who he trusts.
It's competent.
Yes, and then according to what he said, he lost trust in whatever transpired. Now it could be something very, very, very bad that he did. We don't know because he never went out to explain that to us. But if you imagine you have a bosom buddy,
Like me ex-wife, I had company at the street, and she came with a banker. We'll be gamble here.
Yes.
Gamble to us.
Well, Kim, I wouldn't say she bad. I wouldn't say she good.
Exactly. I get a banker in my house.
So you have to leave her to go for she.
Well,
but that's what happened. So because of that, now you had to let him go, and then when he let him go, now he must have felt a kind of way about that, and decide to break away even further.
Okay. So you're the right conservative now, Donald Trump group.
Well, we know you.
Yeah. Okay, we see what happens.
We will see what happens.
We do everything and we poco, we going. Yeah.
All right. Okay.
Breaking is my redeemer.
Okay. What? Let me take a call. Next landline caller coming.
Not landline, man. That is off. That is main line.
Main line.
How are you?
Okay, already.
Hey, how you doing, man?
Are you coping? Are they all right? Are you coping nicely?
Yes.
Nice.
Yeah, but I wanted to do more listening again, but I'm tempted as just as in the game, no feed.
You can't resist at all, boy. You can't resist.
Leave the apple alone.
I want Koi to be called the research officer. Responsibility must be given. That group is existing too long without sharing responsibilities to the cabinet.
Yeah, okay.
So I want Mr. Koi to be the research officer. And you must liaise with Leo and say, Leo, I see this as a thing that we should raise this weekend, and I have so and so facts.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you allow people just calling on random, the young children in the 16, 17 years, they would be kind of confused. They wouldn't know the right path of how things is very social path now.
Mm-hmm.
Social political thing, right?
Yes.
So that whole thing that was mentioned there about the development from Union Island to the current thing, I think you should have that well researched and nicely packaged, because what we want now is 17, 18, 19 years people to be grounded in cultural and historical knowledge. That is where the Chinese is on top of us.
Yes.
They know the history. Unlike the American, they know nothing. They don't even know the Bahamas. They don't know anything. Big laws don't know the Bahamas. You understand the point?
Yes.
We shouldn't be like that. When that station now has a major role, and Northern Education University.
Yeah.
It is in the northern extreme, and you're speaking a lot to St. Vincent too.
Mm-hmm. Well, caller, I couldn't agree with you more,
Passport, which is totally out of alignment. That is something we should have that clarified.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
To the young people who know right about propaganda, about passport and corruption and all that kind of thing. Okay. Any amount of money we get in the Grenada passport, it goes to the central bank of the OECS.
Mm-hmm.
So whether you are selling passport or that's reserved at US, cover the whole the 10 OECS countries. Okay. So whether we selling passport or he not selling, he's protected. The US dollar is protected in that pool of money.
Mm-hmm.
Right? As a matter of fact, 90 cents US for all the money floating we are 90 cents. I thought I should make it $100 to dollar, but we are 90% protected. So our money can devalue and things like that. And he should be glad when he goes saying that about the corruption in Grenada and so forth. His neighbor, the man who has the potential to be chairman, which is our deacon. You can raise that in those closed meetings. That is where the black man lack these communicative skills. White people solve the problem so thing, right? You come out now and you're going to embrace your neighbor, your nearest neighbor. And then when you go to sit down in CARICOM now, you might be the chairman one day, you're going to want the vote of Grenada. And not only that, Grenada is your brother, he's the nearest. I mean, Grenada is like St. Vincent.
He said again, the next blunder he make about the boss out about what going on in the United States about this tariff, and nobody go talk to him, and he said, "You don't see what happening in the States. You don't see the broadcast coming from the meeting with Marco. Our prime minister is the greatest man for skills and disarming people. That's something. Get that video and get his speech going in the White House with Marco the 5 meeting. Yeah, Trinidad or them meeting, and look at Deacon Barbados put out that picture. Try and get a copy and freeze that for the future.
Okay.
You know what I tell you?
Yeah.
The embassy put out a picture of the conversation going on, and get Deacon Mitchell picture and freeze it, because that shows the exact respect they have for Grenada. And I know they have respect for Grenada, no another reason.
Yeah.
It's a very unusual thing. Nobody could fight that right now. All the talking going on is future fight after you leave and things like that. But that man right now is a phenomenon of Deacon.
Okay.
And let people sing that home all. No sense trying to say about talking. Is a price jewelry we have is like having the shield dome. America said the dome. That you can't fire them.
Yeah.
That man is a shield dome for the whole OECS. Everybody in the thing respect him, and we guess I don't know if Ralph doesn't like that too much, but you don't do that to a young man just coming and talking about corruption with passport and all that kind of thing. Because when you weaken the OECS dollar, everybody in pain.
Yep, that's correct.
And I don't want to say so much, but I have to. But look at the same, how you call it? The same thing in the United States. With the thing they put now, what they call it, is the trade barrier.
With tariffs, yeah.
Yeah, listen how this thing works. A government has two approaches to that thing. You could take it in the front end and the back end. America is putting a front end approach as when you find a flare to tease your enemy. That is the whole thing about this. America is a land of psychology and propaganda. You know that. You can't beat them for that. So they throw out that thing and they throw that smoke bomb, and everybody looking at where the smoke coming and crying, but the attack is coming from elsewhere. So the front line, you could do two things. You didn't want to put a custom duty, you could have just put it in VAT at the back end. You could have done it as an internal tax. You understand the point? But they do it as a front end tax to spark off some. That is the psychology of the thing. So Deacon made at one point, they say we can't tell America what foreign policy to have. All we know, we explained our position very clear, and they understood it. And so the people were asking, well, what are you give up for you all to get anything? So just say what the whole standards and so, and legal standard with all this, maybe all this passport talk and they agree, they appreciate what we said, but the conversation had to cut short because China and India and Pakistan break out in a fight.
Wow.
Right?
Yeah.
So that cut the whole thing. But I see with this cell phone and thing, you're getting so much information.
Yeah, right. That's true.
So you could follow things in the States straight. You don't really know the passing news, GB and all that kind of thing.
No, you're going straight to the source.
So you should be the research man. Thing is a big thing. You could be a political wizard because everybody got to respect you when you have the data right. And you could play the clips of where you're hearing those conversations coming from. According to so-and-so news, what I see, I don't know, this is what was said. So you have the backup for people who know, because our politics is not isolated. The last big point, Trinidad, I don't know if this, well, I don't want to say that because I give nothing free, but politics is two things, art and a science. Both of them combined together, and anyone could be overloaded and make you win. The art could make you win, the science could make you win. According to the mood of the country, the mood is what matters. So that sometimes the propaganda dominates and wins. I mean, look at Trinidad. Everybody talking race. There is no way the nigger man will vote for UNC, and UNC is a racist. You understand? But the marketing, brother, the marketing of the politics. You understand? And this was so skilled because the oil field was closed down in Trinidad. Because Rowley made the mistake to close the oil field, because UNC's strength is in Chaguanas and the health of the oil field belt. And that was called British American and Clico too. People don't even know that. Is when PNM make that move to clamp down on that central buoyant economy. That's where the money was flowing in Trinidad. So he cut down that to cut the supply for the party. These Indians financing these big parties and causing problem and things is coming up close to win, and so he closed that down. And British American get trapped in that whole thing. That British American had a whole methanol plant and all kind of thing in that area. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
Well, click on then. Sorry.
Yeah.
So we must know your neighbor's politics too. You must know going the parties have to have foreign affairs fellas listening the thing whole time. You have to pay a settlement just to listen to this various thing and making the analogy and things like that. So you hear the lady win, but you don't know why they win. You don't know what technique you could take from them to even bring in your party. Because the technique they use, I can't even say that. I listen to that thing and the lady agent make a difference. And she didn't have no big work to do. The people do the work for her. You understand?
Yeah.
She admits she old and she frail. She tell them that. That's the last song and she weak and thing and she told them that. And they make a propaganda that she had diabetes and thing. But she used that weakness for people not to attack you. All that is the psychology of the game. So, you have to remember now that if you like politics, it's a big thing like a walk.
Okay.
People love it and walk in it and giving you right ideas and right information and things. And that is what we like. Somebody should develop an institute like that. And even national college where you have these young people going, there should be an opinion poll and things. You should have a department. They get a lot of money from government pay all those teachers. They don't run in no opinion poll. They don't do nothing, Anyone talking too much. But you see the point I'm making?
Yes.
The thing that we are integrated things. Otherwise, the Minister of Education, everybody calling about him, what the work he's doing is a work that has long-term value, not just winning a seat. The education thing you're resolving now with all the schools and scholarship and things, it's not just for 5 years. That is a long-term even after you're gone. So somebody has to be there taking care of the short-term needs.
Right.
That person want a drill. And club only want a rope to go to the mountain.
Right.
You have that second line force there for that. You don't have to rush out with your jacket and tie to solve that and reach 10 o'clock, you don't sleep enough. Everybody calling you 6 o'clock in the morning. You the minister have to be so clear and you have to rest properly too, otherwise you're making the wrong decision, hasting and things, and people blaming you downstream. So your forces are wrong you. A man's education is so big. You have to give him a whole workforce around him to deal with those things, to assist him. You have to treat him as a special man. That Ministry of Education talking about 1,000 students. You understand? And then you have sports as a big thing that kind of link with the education system. Sports is a big thing you're going to know. By the way, love your Kaiko. At least I want to hear them on the air. You don't call the parents to congratulate them. Do that next week. Bring those at least grandparents and talk to them on the phone. Let them tell you how nice the child is, how the child loving and things. You understand what I mean, brother?
Yeah. Okay.
That is the simplicity of the thing.
Okay. I get you.
And last point, we get a character next year. The same character children go the same javelin, they're coming back next year, strong boys. So I just concluding what I say now by telling you it's a whole package of work. Simple fly the work, but make it effective. All them things that's true now, what happened, why they lose, why PNM lose, why this. All them things, make sure you know that so you don't make those same blunders, okay?
Okay,
thank you.
All right, thank you so much. Okay, bye.
And how is St. Patrick's, man? How is Pastor in St. Patrick's? I hear that Breakwater, where is him? All right, later.
You know that we seem to have not, there were talks about that there might be a likelihood of a black pope.
Yeah.
We didn't make the league.
Well, we just, the breaking news that we have now, a pope has been appointed.
The smoke was rising?
Yeah, the smoke. As a matter of fact, the new pope his name is
Prevost.
Robert Prevost, and he's the first American
pope.
Pope to be, and so he'd be known as Pope Leo the 14th.
Leo the 14th. Yes, Pope Leo the 14th.
Yeah, that's the breaking news right now.
So when is your turn?
You might come in Pevo.
Well, I mean, of course, it's a process. Yeah, the smoke has to arise, man.
Well, smoke did rise.
Yes.
And that's it. Yeah. So that's the breaking news right now. Pope has been appointed. First American.
And well, we had one before,
Which one?
Don't know.
Trump.
You didn't see him? Yeah. He say nothing about that.
The first American pope.
Yeah.
I mean, how many years it was before we got a pope other than Italian?
Well, the last one we had was some
South
Central
Am-
America. Yes. I mean,
Central
South America. Yes, they're there.
No, but it's a
Before
very
that,
long
before
time.
that, before that.
Before that,
Oh,
very,
before you leave that,
a
okay.
very long time. It's only Italian.
As a matter of fact, I was thinking at one time, I remember in those days,
Mhm.
that a pope had to be
Italian.
Italian.
Yes. Well,
Yeah, but you could see it's changed.
But it's interesting that the Pope is now an American citizen. An American, what's American citizen? An American. And wow. At a time as this, when what we see in America is happening, and the Pope rises from there at this time, I think it's more than just what we've seen, This place is about to experience something.
Well, based on what the Trump government is doing right now, a lot of questions will be asked to him to comment on.
Who?
This new pope. Yeah.
I hope he's not a MAGA.
No, he's a liberal. He's a liberal. He's a liberal, a conservative.
Let me take the final call.
Yeah,
For the program. Final call. Advisor for caller coming. Caller?
Jim,
Yeah.
the last Italian Pope, he was affiliated with the mob. That's why they didn't speak no more.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't know. All right. So, gentlemen, we just about come to wrap up our program for today. Always interesting, always informative. Dialogue is always entertaining, as always. And so, Leo, let me get your final words for today.
Well, final thoughts, Leo. Life goes on, and we have to keep the fight on, especially since we're talking about the opposition start campaigning and they're trying to make themselves visible. So we have to come to that.
And Koi, go ahead.
One of the things that actually I did plan to make some comments on that today, but it didn't happen. But in closing, I want to say something about that, and I really want to direct our thoughts, our ideas on this word, preparation. We are again returning into the hurricane season. We are again seeing and experiencing all kinds of things here. And that is what gave me the confidence here that preparation is a must. In order for us to navigate and to overcome the challenges that we might face in the future, we have to prepare today. So preparation is something that we should all be involved with in our homes, in our schools, in our communities, wherever. Let us allow preparation, or let us see that preparation is important, and we must be ready and prepared for whatever is to come.
The views expressed on this program are those of the host and guests and not the views of this radio station.